Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good morning, guys.
How you doing? You know, got that old Easter speech ink on. That's what they call it.
What color are we talking
Easter
about?
speech. Well, some people call it flamenco.
Self-obsession operating on the
You just got old gray.
It looks like
black.
salmon to me, and I
It
have
ain't
salmon for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'm about to have it for breakfast. Thank you very much.
Well, you about to get sick.
Really?
Yeah,
You know
this
what? I'm
happened
glad
here.
you brought
This
that up. I'm
happened.
glad you brought that up because both my quads have locked up on me, and I don't think I can make it through the rest of the
Don't
show.
do that. Don't do
I
that.
don't think I can make it.
Don't do this.
I got two of them.
Whatever.
We don't want that. No
Sorry.
complaining around
You
here.
about-
We have
you
a lot
about
to
to
get
real
to
sick.
today. Busy show. How is Kevin Durant feeling about the Warriors winning without him? And should Damian Lillard get a pass for his struggles? But we are going to start with Skip's dear friend, number 2. Kawhi Leonard appeared to injure his leg after landing awkwardly on a layup in the first quarter, but he still found a way to lead Toronto to a double overtime victory in Game 3 last night. Kawhi was hobbling throughout the game, but still managed to play 52 minutes and finish with a game-high 36 points. He also spent more time defending Giannis than he has all series, helping limit the Greek Freak to just 12 points and 8 turnovers. After the game, Kawhi said the minutes are weighing on him, but he'll be fine for tomorrow's Game 4. Shannon,
Yes.
how impressive was Kawhi last night?
Magnifico. Magnifico. He's been nothing short of spectacular, stupendous. I mean, I'm running out of words to
You
describe
are.
what I saw yesterday.
You ran out last Monday,
Don't do that, Skip.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Look, we know what Kawhi is capable of. He's the best two-way player in basketball. That's undeniable, regardless of whether you want to call him by his given name, his government name, Skip Bayless, which is Kawhi Leonard.
He'll always be number 2.
No,
to
he
me.
won't. No, he won't.
Yeah.
No, he won't.
Yeah.
Gave you 36. What did he give you? Rebounds. 5 rebounds. Ooh, I like that. I like
That's
that.
highly impressive. Woo!
You know what, Skip? Stop.
Oh.
You know what? You always got something negative to say. But here's the most impressive part. The guy that we think will win the league's MVP played all those. How many minutes did Giannis? Giannis played 44 minutes, basically 42 minutes, and had 12 points. Because when Skip, remember I told you, we had this conversation last week.
Yep.
I say not only can he give you 35, 36,
Yep.
but if there's another guy on the opposing team, hey, Kawhi, shut that off. Just like you flipped the light
Really?
off.
He shut off those rebounds. He had 23 rebounds, Giannis did.
Hey, what are the points?
Wait, he led his team with 7 assists, and he had 4 blocks.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Keep going. Keep
Well,
going.
hold on.
Shut him off.
Is he Bill Russell? Because Bill Russell averaged 13 points and 23 rebounds for a career. So now Giannis Antetokounmpo, Greek Freak, is Bill Russell. 12 points. That's what he got.
He is the modern day.
No, he ain't. No, he's not. Kawhi shut it down. All I know is when he was guarded by Kawhi, he was 1 of 9.
Yep.
Can I interest you in that, Skip? He was 5 of 16 overall, 0 from the three-point line, 2 of 7 from the free throw line.
Yep.
That's what Kawhi did against him. But old Kawhi, my guy, and you got a monster game. Well, let me see what he did.
Monster.
11 of 25, 12 of 13, 9 defensive rebounds, 5 assists, plus 10, 36, and a partridge in a pear tree. He did everything that we needed him to do. And I told you what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Whether you need a little or a lot, he's going to give you that.
Yeah.
And he can give it to you on the other end. Skip Bayless made Giannis look. I'm like, hold on. 6 points in the first half from a guy that's going to win the MVP? I know a guy would have got crushed had his team been behind in the first half and he only had 6 points. But since he's on his couch, I don't really feel the need to bring his name up.
Is that it? That's all you got?
Magnificent. The question was, what was
Yeah.
How impressive.
magnificent?
Now let's get to the truth of what happened last night. The true bottom line to that basketball game that we all witnessed was Once Greek Freak fouled out with that was 36 seconds into overtime, so there was 4:24 left in the second overtime.
Okay.
Once that happened, number 2 finally did what he should have done in a huge game, a do-or-die game at home, which he failed miserably to do at the end of regulation and the end of the first overtime. He failed miserably, but we'll get back to that in just a moment because he finally did take over without Giannis to protect the rim and patrol the paint. And Giannis already had up to that point 4 blocks. And I would suggest to you that if Giannis does not foul out of that game, Milwaukee is going to win that game, and it's going to be 0-3 Milwaukee over Toronto. But what happened right on schedule fairly early in the game as the pressure started to mount? Number 2, he's a shrewd operator. He's not all that he appears to be. He seems like, oh,
exactly
shucks, gee whiz,
don't do that.
I'm just a kid trying to figure this game out. I don't have much to say. But he realized right on schedule, it became clear that if they did fall down 0-3, that he was going to take the brunt of the criticism. So what happened early on? He's got a little fast break. I thought it was going to be a dunk. It's just a little lay-in, and he comes down, quote-unquote, awkwardly on his left leg, and all of a sudden he's limping, and he has suffered yet another of the mysterious, vague injuries that he suffered again and again and again and again when he was a San Antonio Spur, because it wasn't just his thigh bruise. There's a litany of injuries that I'm going to get to in just a moment that he suffered in San Antonio, and this was another one of those mysterious ones because what is it? His knee? Is it his quad? Is it his calf? We don't know what it is because even his coach Nick Nurse said after the game, I don't know what it was. I don't know anything about it.
His name is Nurse. Doesn't mean he is a nurse.
Oh, okay. Well, he indicated that his medical people they didn't really know what was going on with number 2's whatever it was. But all of a sudden, the TNT commentators leap aboard this runaway train. And all of a sudden, he has no lift. He has no explosion. He's severely limited. And this is a miracle. He's taking over the game with not one, but here's my favorite moment of the game. Do you realize that after Giannis went out, we had the left-handed breakaway dunk. Do you remember this one? Well,
saw that?
We saw a little double dribble there. He grabbed the basketball, but that's okay. I'm going to let him have that.
Oh, he reached out with one hand, palmed it, and picked it up. And then took off?
Yeah, and then he took off and he left hand slams it.
Ooh.
But then guess what? He comes down awkwardly, I guess, I don't know, and either he forgot which leg was supposed to be hurt or he starts to favor the other leg. He comes up the court and now it's his right leg. It was his left leg the first time. So now he's got both of them going on.
Both of them going on.
He's got dual excuses. Double excuses, double jeopardy for me because I don't know which one to go with. I'm not sure. Is it his left?
Well, he did land awkwardly on that one.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did.
I couldn't see it because the whole game to me, even though he had no lift and no explosion, he looked just fine to me. I thought he was playing just fine.
36-9,
yeah,
tell me he was just fine.
I think he was doing just fine, but again, everybody's giving him the excuse because I've told you before, and I'm glad you brought up your man LeBron James. In the wake of LeBron James, this man, number 2, has become the most overprotected star, and I'll certainly give him star, in this sport.
Superstar, you mean?
No, well, I'll get whatever you want to call him. I'll give you that. He's the most overprotected superstar in this sport because he sure doesn't throw many passes, but does he ever get a bunch of passes from everybody?
Oh, he had
gets it from everybody.
He had 5 assists yesterday.
Oh, well, the other guy had 7 and led his team.
How many points did the other guy have? Who was guarding the other guy?
Well, we're talking right now about number 2 and his injuries, and everybody's giving him. This is like the Jordan flu game. I guess he had the flu in both his thighs. I don't know.
But Skip, hold on. The injury was not the question. Grade? What grade would you give him?
No, we're not giving him a grade yet. But again,
how impressive.
Well, again, I just told you exactly what happened. He wasn't at all impressive until Giannis went out. And then all of a sudden, the seas parted, the heavens opened, and here came number 2 doing what he should have done at the end of regulation. Do you remember the end of regulation, or did that blur in your mind? Maybe you don't.
I remember it.
Do you remember it?
I do.
So for the last minute and 12 seconds of regulation last night, as the Bucks went on a 5-0 run to tie the score and send it to the first overtime. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
What did your man number 2 do? He did exactly nothing. He took 0 shots. He had 0 rebounds. He had 0 assists. He just did nothing.
He had 2 points.
And by the way, he couldn't even get open with 2.2 seconds left because the ball wound up in the hands of Siakam, who had to take a desperation prayer from 28 feet that didn't even draw iron. So can you get open and get your last shot off? I think MJ would have. I don't know. That's, people are already comparing him. We're going to have Kendrick Perkins on. He's already tweeting about him being, what's he call him? I'll have to say his first name, Kawhi Jordan.
I was going to say,
yeah,
are you
right?
going to say it?
Yeah, I have to.
Okay.
So if that's the guy, then where was he there? And then let's go to the first overtime, shall we? Mm-hmm. So over the last minute and 28 seconds of the first overtime, where was your man? He missed a big 3. It looked pretty open to me with 19.9 seconds left. He got a real open
He's the
look.
only man that's missed a
Okay.
3.
Oh, and then with 36 seconds left, he has an 18-footer. I'm sorry, this is at the buzzer. At the buzzer, he has an 18-footer to win the game, and he missed it.
Yeah.
Giannis came flying at him, so
Yeah.
this time he didn't get the lucky bounce. I don't know what happened. I guess the gods weren't with him on that shot, right?
This is what help me understand. Now, you say you tell me all the time.
You're not responding. I'm just crushing your argument, and you have nothing to fight back with because that was failing miserably.
Hold on, Skip.
Wow.
You said you love guys that perform late in the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
There's
the
2.
Hold on. In the fourth quarter, he had 9 points on 2 of 4 shooting. He was 4-4 from the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
Is that good? A simple no.
I just told you the rim protector is gone. The best player on the other team is gone. The lane patroller is gone, and all of a sudden he's got nothing but space.
Hold on. Maybe you misunderstood me.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi Leonard, in the fourth quarter, had 9 total points.
Mm-hmm.
He was 2 of 4.
All that happened after Giannis was gone. All of it.
All
of it.
So Giannis fouled out in the fourth quarter, not in the second overtime.
No, in the second overtime.
This is Kawhi again. Maybe I'm not speaking clearly.
Yes.
Let me slow down.
Okay.
Let me enunciate correctly. In the fourth quarter,
Last minute and 12. See what happened. See what your stats show you.
Skip.
0,
You
0,
see what you try
0,
to do? You
0.
keep moving the goalpost.
No, I'm not moving the goalpost. I'm saying the Bucks are on a 5-0 run, and he does 0. He allows them to tie the game.
In the fourth quarter, you love fourth quarter stats. But now all of a sudden, you want to take it down. Forget the fourth quarter. Let's go down to the last minute and 20 seconds of the fourth quarter.
You're giving up a 5-0 run. You're giving up the game. You're
okay,
letting
you know
them
what?
take it to
Forget
overtime.
all that. He did nothing in the fourth. He did nothing in the overtime. He did nothing. Who won the ball game?
He did.
Okay, then.
Once Giannis was gone, he did.
Okay, well,
and then, did you see him beat Brogdon to that ball? Like, I don't know what Malcolm Brogdon, I guess you just don't want it. You just don't.
Oh, now
you
he
not
don't
have any
want it.
guts. I don't know.
They'll do that, Skip.
It's a big steal that it's not even a steal. He just beats him to the ball.
It's a
minute
steal.
52. No, it wasn't, because actually the turnover went to Middleton because he threw the bad pass that got tipped away.
So he don't get it, just so it'll become a steal?
No, it was just who wins the 50-50
So he
ball.
did. I want to know.
But it wasn't Brogdon's ball. He didn't have possession of it, so it's not a steal. It's not.
Did the official give him a steal?
No, they did not, because he just beat him to the basketball, broke loose for another dunk. And I don't know how he did it. It was a miracle because he had no explosion and no lift, according to TNT
Did he
guys.
look like he, let me ask you a question.
Did it look explosive to you? Boy, it sure
did it look like he exploded to the basket?
Yes, it did. I thought he exploded just
so
fine.
that's the highest
now,
Kawhi could
by
do.
that point, you have 2 leg injuries, so I don't even know how you got up off the ground.
And
but
I'm
he
trying
did.
to, hold on.
Way to go.
So I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. Kawhi Leonard plays over 52 minutes in a 58-minute ball game. He guards the guy that we think is going to win the MVP in Giannis Antetokounmpo. He scores 36. He has 9 rebounds, dishes out 5 assists with 2 steals, a blocked shot.
Yep.
And you're trying to find a way to complain and undermine what he actually did.
I'm just telling you the truth.
Okay,
I'm just spitting facts.
Okay, well, let me ask you. Okay, why did Giannis only give you 12 points? Name the superstar that can give you 12 points, and his team can still go to a double overtime before they lose.
Who would have won the game if Giannis had stayed eligible to play the last 4:24?
That was Giannis'
Who would have won?
fault.
Okay. And it was, by the way, it was a 50-50 call. I went ahead and said,
I would know. I would have said he beat him to the spot.
I didn't think he
Siakam, that
did.
was a charge.
I'll give you that one, but it was close. And usually a superstar of this magnitude gets the benefit
But
of
you
that
have to
doubt.
realize where they were. They were home. If that's in Milwaukee,
Yep.
I believe Giannis gets that call.
Yep.
But Kawhi Leonard playing 52 minutes in a double overtime
How
game.
did he do that with 2 bad legs? I don't know.
You know what? And I was
don't know.
looking at Kawhi's numbers. Now, they only scored 22 points in the 2 overtimes. Kawhi had 10 of those. Is that good?
Yeah. Well, he had 8 of them after Giannis went out, right?
So what did Giannis have? You keep telling me what Kawhi did when Giannis went out. What did Giannis do when Giannis was in? He had 12 points, and I want to know why.
Wait a second. He had 23 rebounds. He led his team with 7 assists, and he had 4 blocks, which I'm pretty sure didn't quite lead the game because Gasol had 5 blocks. And by the way, speaking of help, because you just continue to cry that your man number 2 doesn't have enough help.
Yes.
Did you see what happened last night?
Yes, I saw.
Let's start with the block. Do you remember the late block by Pascal Siakam?
Yes.
Do you remember this play? Because it was late in the game, and Brook Lopez went up for it and just got it stuffed right back in his face. And this is to tie the game right here. Maybe it was a foul because he crashed into him pretty hard after he blocked it, but he did clean block it, and it saved the game.
Well,
Does that help?
But
I
you
don't
know
know
what, Skip, even in the overtime, even before in the fourth quarter, they could have easily called Middleton with the hook on Danny Green.
Okay.
They could have easily called that, but they let him play.
Okay.
But you keep.
I'm not sure they let him play. I thought there were a lot of ticky.
But I'm just trying. Well, help me understand.
Wait, I didn't finish my point. Siakam had 25 points, and you said he was no help at all. And then Marc Gasol, you were just screaming for the disappearing act. He made 4 threes last night and had 12 rebounds and led his team with 7 assists and 5 blocks.
I love it, Skip.
5
I
blocks?
love it.
Wow.
This is what I love.
So wait a second. Number 2 had huge help, and I didn't even mention Norman Powell, although I did mention him on Friday because I like him a lot. And he scored 19 last night. I don't know how that happened.
I love it.
Wow, that's a lot of help.
You walked into my trap.
Oh,
did you know I had this
sure
trap?
I did.
Jenny, I had this saved at the bottom. Look what I knew, because I knew he can't help himself. Because when you try to make a point, he can't help himself. Now, in game 2, Kawhi Leonard, he got 10 points and 6 rebounds from Marc Gasol and Pascal Siakam.
Okay.
In game 3, he got 41 points and 23 rebounds. That was the help I was telling you he needed. If you look at Giannis Antetokounmpo, a.k.a. Greek Freak, did you know he was the 4th leading scorer on his team yesterday?
Wow.
2 guys off the bench, George Hill, Malcolm Brogdon, scored more points than Giannis Antetokounmpo. Did you know Brook Lopez had more points than Giannis Antetokounmpo?
They have more rebounds? You ever heard of 23 in a game? That's a lot.
Hold on, Skip.
That's like Wilt Chamberlain.
What about the points? A guy that averaged 27 points in the regular season gave you 12. 15 below his average.
Because he makes his teammates better as opposed to the guy on the other team who does not make his teammates better.
So they're not better.
They just said, we're going to rise and shine tonight. Siakam just said, I'm going to shoot it.
If you don't mind me asking, Skip, the past 2 years, where were these teammates, the guys that were on that team? Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, where were they? Getting swept twice.
Marc Gasol wasn't on the team.
Marc Gasol didn't even make the playoffs against me, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, he was a difference maker last night.
Yeah, that was my point.
Okay.
Do you remember in game when he opened his big mouth and said, because Kawhi, we're putting too much onus on Kawhi, and then he follows up that performance with a 2 points. And Pascal Siakam gave him 8. So he had them two.
That was after he had the 2 points. He opened his big mouth.
No.
That was what we talked about it on Friday.
No, he opened his mouth because he said Kawhi had too much emphasis on it. And then, because remember Friday night when they played, see, we didn't get an opportunity to talk about that Friday night.
No, I'm glad.
True.
You're lucky.
Exactly.
You're lucky.
No, you're lucky. You're lucky. You're lucky because I told you he wasn't getting help. Now he got some help. 43. Can I interest you in 43 and 21?
Can I interest you in just how bad number 2 has been from the three-point line going into last night? Because that's why I wish we'd had a Saturday show so I could have talked about this. Because going into last night, including Friday night's game, number 2 was 4 of 26 from the three-point line. That is 15%. That is horrendously bad. It's hard for your teammates to overcome one player going 4 for 26.
If you don't mind me asking, is it worse than what Giannis is? What's Giannis? Because Giannis was over.
He doesn't shoot 3.
This is what I know. Hold on. Well, somebody taking shots on his behalf, they need to look into that because they say someone that wears the number 34 and has the name of Giannis Antetokounmpo took 3 threes last night and he missed them all. They said a guy with that same jersey number, with that same last name, was 2 of 7 from the three-point line. Now, we need to look into that. Adam Silver, we need to get some investigators on it because someone is impersonating Giannis.
2 of 7. I wonder what the percentage of that is versus 15%. Is 2 of 7 better than 15%? I think it is. is.
Hold on.
I think it is.
Who's shooting better from the free throw line, Kawhi or Giannis?
Well, Giannis had an air ball last night, so I can't defend that.
Whoa. So, but you doing a great job of trying to defend 12 points. An MVP.
Look, all I know is they're going to win the game if he doesn't foul out.
No.
It's just as simple as that.
But
you know which way it was going.
And that's my point, Skip.
Yeah.
You're making my point for me.
No,
They're about to win the game
think you're making my
despite
point.
Giannis Antetokounmpo scoring 12 points.
So then, after the game ended, I got to say this. I was laughing out loud at my man Charles Barkley on TNT because he started calling number 2 a cyborg. And I'm thinking, cyborg means sort of half man, half machine, right? Whoever built that cyborg used all defective parts because you have no idea. Somewhere Greg Popovich was also laughing last night, or at least sarcastically chuckling because
guess where he was laughing
listen,
at?
the last
On a boat?
his last 6 years in San Antonio, number 2, he missed 24 games, 1 year, 16, 18, 10, 8, and then of course 73. Here are just a few of the injuries, the vague, mysterious injuries he suffered while a San Antonio Spur. Strained right calf, then quadriceps tendonitis in his left knee and left quad. Then he had a fractured right hand, I'll give you that one, but he then had tightness in the left calf, bruised right quadriceps, so he had both of them going on. Then he had a concussion, then he had a sprained left ankle, and then he had a partial tear, they said, in his left shoulder. I never did figure that one out.
If you don't mind me asking.
Is that not a litany of injuries? My God.
And some guys have to play through all those things and still become great.
This is the guy.
And some guys don't have those injuries. But if you don't mind me asking, in the years in which Kawhi was healthy, and the year that Kawhi played, how many times did the Spurs go out in the first round?
I have no idea.
Oh, you have an idea.
Yeah.
That's your team.
He was just lucky that he was playing with Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Is this the same guy that had a 23-point lead before the guy you call Zaza a cheap shot slid his size 42-foot shoe up under it?
Yeah.
Is that the guy?
Guy you can't trust. You never know. It's always something. And I tweeted at the end of the game last night. Now the question is, will number 2 need a year off to heal his leg like he did in San Antonio? That's the question of the hour. Is he going to need a year off now? I don't know because he's got 2 of them going on.
Well, I tell you what he can't get is what the Spurs players are getting, which is rest, which was what you get when you get eliminated in the first round.
Load management.
Don't worry about it. My guy's still playing. Sure enough, gave it to him.
You sure he's going to play game 4? I don't know.
Let me ask you, think about what nobody has had to manage this kind of workload because you're asking him to give you 30 and then take the opposing team, whomever it may be. It might be Ben Simmons. When the last time is there Ben Simmons? Wanted, dead or alive, Ben Simmons. He brought him in. Jimmy Butler, we shut that off. Oh, Giannis. Oh, you the Greek freak? Greek tragedy. Yeah. Show me a hero.
Great tragedy last night was the 6th foul. Changed the series. I'm happy.
45
I'm happy for number 2. He got the break he needed.
12 points.
He needed that ball to bounce in Game 7, and he got 4 lucky bounces. And then last night he needed Greek Freak to get that 6th foul. You said it was a bogus call.
It was.
And he needed another helping hand from the injury gods.
Well, Greek Freak needed a
foul gods.
Greek Freak needed 20 more points.
Quick turnaround for this one. Game 4 tomorrow in Toronto.
Way to go.
It is far from over, but how about this series? The Warriors even need Kevin Durant back. We'll discuss that next. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Well, the Warriors can sweep the Blazers tonight after Draymond Green led them to a comeback win Saturday night. Golden State trailed by 18 in the second quarter before Draymond took over, finishing with 20 points, 13 rebounds, and 12 assists for his 3rd triple-double of the playoffs. Steph Curry added 36 points, while Portland's rendition of the Splash Brothers continued to struggle. Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum combined for only 42 points, and the Warriors outscored the Blazers 57-33 in the second half. So, Shannon, has this series been more about Golden State or Portland?
It's about Golden State and how impressive they've been without Kevin Durant.
Sure.
We know what Kevin Durant represents. He's a superstar. He's as good as we have in the NBA. He's, whether you 1 or 2, he's one of the 2 best players in all of basketball. If you want to put him 1, I'm not going to sit up here and fight you about it today because my guy's on his couch. And a lot of people thought they were vulnerable, especially against the Rockets, once Kevin Durant injury happened midway through the third quarter, Skip. So they had to finish out the remaining of the game, and then they had to play Game 6 without Kevin Durant, and it looks like they're going to have to play without the foreseeable future without him. but they underestimated, and they've been doing this since Kevin Durant arrived, just how great Steph Curry is. All he's doing is reminding people, I'm the last guy to win consecutive MVPs.
Yep.
I'm the last guy to do it. Klay Thompson is like, y'all really know I could be a number one on a lot of teams. Draymond Green is letting people know, I'm as versatile, I'm as valuable as any player in the league. I can do it all. Can I score with the best of them? No. Can I rebound with the best of them? No. Can I assist with the best of them? No. But can I do a combination of all three and play defense on top of that?
Yep.
Absolutely. I'm one of the 2 or 3 best when it comes to doing all those things. And so now you've removed Kevin Durant from that equation, and these guys, Skip, I'm telling you, you've been around this game, you've covered it. Athletes have something that's indomitable, and that's called pride.
Yep.
And when you tell them they can't do something or they're less than because someone has been removed from the equation, they will move heaven and earth to prove you wrong. They're going to prove you wrong. They're going to prove people wrong to think they're only Kevin Durant. Skip, they're going out there. I've never seen anything like this. The way they move, the way they cut, the way they set screens, because and another thing, Skip, when you guys got it can go get you 35, 40, if you don't get the rebound, so what? Kevin Durant will bail us out. If we don't get the loose ball, so what? Kevin Durant will bail us out. Well, now you don't have that. When that ball's on the floor, look how many guys hit the floor to get it. When that ball's up in the air and it's bouncing around, look how many guys come in and try to get that rebound. They're a different team. They're not. Are they better? Kevin Durant makes Golden State unbeatable. But if you think that this is a less than team, even without Kevin Durant, the Golden State Warriors would have been the favorite to win the NBA championship. Without Kevin Durant, whether they face Milwaukee, which I believe they will, or they face Toronto, they will be heavily favored, even without Kevin Durant.
Yep.
And they're showing what they're made of. Remember, Skip, now that KD's out, that starting 5, that's the 5 that won their very first championship because they inserted Bogut. So now I think they started Loney, they started someone else instead of Bogut. But for the 5, with Klay, Steph, and Draymond and Iggy, that's the heartbeat. That's the pulse. So I'm not surprised that they're playing well because I knew Steph would become more aggressive and want to show what he's made of. Skip, this has been very impressive.
So I'm going to give you all of what you just said. These are 2 players on the Golden State Warriors who are trying to remind everyone in the basketball world, we won before he came. We didn't just win, we were all-time great. We went 73-9 without him. And what did Draymond, reportedly by our man Chris Haynes of Yahoo, say? What did Draymond say to Kevin on the bench when they got into it against the Clippers back in December?
We won before you arrived.
That is correct. And he also added...
B.
Yeah, he called him B word, and then he just said, leave.
Yeah.
So now we have 2 Golden State Warriors trying to remind everyone, don't write us off next year after he does leave, because it's almost a foregone conclusion that he will leave.
And it's looking like, you know what it's looking like to me, Skip? They packing them bags for him. They done called an Uber.
It does feel
Doesn't it feel like that?
Yes, it does.
They done called an Uber and everything. Give him a black card. Whatever, executive. That's
nice
a little
card.
extra.
Yep. So I am with you on that because they say all the right things in the postgame. Oh, we miss Kevin.
We need him. We know if we want to win.
Desperately
If we want a three-peat.
But the body language of Draymond and Steph say something completely different. And to my eye, I have never seen either of those players move more efficiently, effectively, and electrically than they did on Saturday night. They were moving. They were quicker than the eye, both of them. Draymond and Steph had bounce in their step that I've never seen before. Draymond was playing possessed on Saturday night. I've never seen it like it.
You and I had this conversation the other day. Are they going to stop Draymond from getting the ball off the rim and driving up the... Is anybody going to stop him? I just want to know that.
Right-handed layups. Length of the floor. Wow, okay. Now, given all that, I got to remind everyone that the Portland Trail Blazers were up 17 in Game 2 at Golden State.
Yep.
They were up 18 in the second quarter of Game 3 the other night in Portland. So if we look back at Game 2, it was tied going to the fourth quarter, and on Saturday night, Golden State led by only 3 going to the fourth quarter. That means it was time for your 2 all-star guards, your 2 star guards. It was time for Damian Lillard and CJ to just take it over.
Yes.
Take us home in Game 2, literally back to Portland, and win for us at home in Game 3. And both of them shrank and came up smaller than they actually are. And I have to put the brunt of the blame on Damian Lillard. Look, he is a really nice guy. He outpoised Russell Westbrook in round number 1. He outplayed him. He sent him home by waving bye-bye to him. He hit the shot of shots, Game 5, to close the deal.
Yes.
It was the final big nail in that coffin. And he showed you everything that Russ is not in the way of poise, in character, and the ability to stay within yourself, which Russ cannot. He plays out of control, outside himself too much. But I'm here to say that once again, right on schedule, it has been proven to me that Russell Westbrook is still more valuable overall than Damian Lillard. I'll still take him because that rage that he plays with, it scares people. I don't think Damian scares anybody. When his push comes to shove in the playoffs, he turns back into nothing more than a regular season wonder. I'm sorry, these 2 fourth quarters, again, I'm going on there combined.
Fourth quarters, hell, these 3 games
well,
he
you
played.
can do it, but just these 2 fourth quarters when you could have taken it over. If I look at Dame and CJ, they went 2 for 12 from the field in Game 2's fourth quarter, and then the other night they went 4 of 13. It just won't work. They miss shot after open shot, and again, Damian is better than CJ, so the brunt of the blame has to go on Damian. And again, he's a nice guy, and I guess he's got some kind of rib cartilage thing going on. I don't know. I'm sure it's somewhat
And
painful.
he said he didn't want to take a pain shot because it messed with his stomach.
Okay.
Yeah.
But guess
Stomach?
what? Your
You
stomach
messed
won't-
with my stomach then.
your stomach won't be upset when you're on vacation.
Yep.
Because you're about to go home.
Yeah, that is true.
I've had rib cartilage, Skip, and I had to take injection, and it's painful. And you try to get it as close to the game as you possibly can because you know the medicine is going to wear off. You want it to wear off somewhere midway through the fourth quarter, as opposed halftime or the third or midway through the third quarter.
Okay.
But this is unacceptable. Dame Lillard has almost as many turnovers as field goals made.
He does.
You can't win.
14 to 15.
Okay, they came back, you mentioned, 17 at Oracle, 18.
Yep.
That comeback that the Warriors had in Game 2 did more damage, more harm to the Trailblazers' psyche than we previously thought.
Yep.
Because what it did to them is that it put doubt in their mind. There's no lead that we can get is safe. What it did for Golden State is like no matter how far we're behind, we can track these guys down because they will turn the ball. Skip, Dame Lillard just played the turnovers. You can't be up. I mean, he sat out until about 5:47, 5:37.
Yep.
And the moment he comes back into the game, he turns the ball over, Steph comes down and bangs a 3.
Yep.
It's the turnovers that's hurting them. You got great production. When you get this kind of production from who they got it from? Myers Leonard gives you 16.
That's all-time career aberration, never happen again.
Evan Turner gives you 12.
Yeah.
I mean, you got great production, but you can't lose that, Skip.
No.
And I'm looking at this. I still can't figure out. Golden State is one of the worst rebounding teams in basketball, and they're crushing the Blazers. They're crushing them
Because
on
they
the
want it more, and they also think the Blazers are afraid of them, and they have them on the run, so they're just pouring it on.
And this is unacceptable, Skip.
Yep.
And Dame is almost 5 turnovers a game, shooting 32%. Skip, that won't get it done. In order for them to have a chance, CJ and Dame were going to have to play like they played in OKC and like they played in 3 or 4 games against the Nuggets.
Yep.
They couldn't have off nights because it doesn't look like Steph is going to have an off night. That he look like he's going to get 35 a night. And then Draymond is going to do Draymond things, and he's going to hover around the triple-double.
Yep.
And you're going to get Klay, who's not shooting the ball extremely well, but he's making timely shots. Iggy's going to be Iggy. But they're getting a 5 here from Looney, and Alfonso McKinney gave him 5, and Livingston gave him 5, Bale 6, and Cook 6. So they're getting all this other production. But unless CJ and unless Dame can give them 50, 60 between the two, oh, they going home tonight.
Yep.
This is it. The lights will get turned out. I don't know. It used to be the Rose Garden. I don't think they call it that now. I think it's the Motor Center. The lights will go out in the Motor Center.
It will.
And it won't be on again until the fall.
I know. So what do I always tell you about why I love the NBA playoffs? I know some people get tired of 7-game series, but over time, you either get revealed or exposed. What is your basketball character? What are you really made of? That's what I love to watch, because before your very eyes, Dame has gotten exposed. He's just not that guy. And what did Sugar Ray Leonard tell us sitting right here the other day? I think it was Thursday.
True.
In the end, at the highest level of competition, the mind is more important than the body. Everybody's talented.
Everybody.
But in the end, he is not as mentally tough as the guards on the other team. He's just, and maybe I'm holding the bar set that high, but that's who he's playing against, and he is shrinking by the night.
Well, you underestimate the mental toughness of a guy that had a dad that played in the NBA. Well, both of them dad played. So you feel
Both of them did.
Because you feel.
You know what? That is true.
Clay's dad was the #1 overall pick, Michael. So you get the impression they were born with silver spoons in their mouth. They're not mentally tough. You look at Dame from the Bay. He's from Oaktown. He represents all Oaktown. So you look at Steph and Clay, you're like, man, them jokers.
They both grew up
And
with
they-
money.
and-
They had money.
Yeah. And they out there with pocket knives, just cutting people up. They're like, I'm going to rip your heart out.
Yeah.
That's how they think.
And I keep remembering what Kevin Durant told CJ on his podcast, remember?
Yes.
Going back before, I guess it was last summer.
Seems okay now.
You know,
when you
that's
think about
it seems exactly okay, because CJ's complaining, well, wait a second, we were the 3 seed. They got swept last year. And he said, yeah, and you played like the 8 seed. And that's what they're playing like right now.
Yeah.
The whole sweeping thing for them doesn't go well.
You
I
can't,
don't think they
Skip,
want to
you
do that
can't allow yourself to get swept.
No.
When I don't care, look, Steph is unbelievable, but Kevin Durant's a better player than Steph.
Yeah, and they're
You
leading
can't
at the
allow this
break.
to happen,
That is
Skip.
true.
When you have 2 leads, one of 17, one of 18, I can see if they never led in any points of the game. But you had a 17 of the 18-point lead, Skip, and one of those at home, you got to get that across the finish line.
Something is going on there if you're letting them get back into the game in that sense.
No mercy.
Okay, we're going to switch gears to talk a little bit about the Cowboys.
Oh, yes.
Because why not? Next
Shall
up,
we?
37-year-old Jason Witten heaped some serious praise on his teammates as he prepares for his comeback season in Dallas. Witten said the current Cowboys have, quote, the most talent I've seen. Witten has been a part of 2 different 13-win seasons in Dallas, one of which was led by Tony Romo, Terrell Owens, and Marcus Ware. So those are some big shoes to fill for Dak,
interesting.
Zeke, Amari, and the rest of Witten's co-stars.
Very interesting.
Skip,
Yes.
what does this tell you?
This was a stunning statement out of the mouth of one Jason Witten, because, let's see, most talented team he's ever played for. He played on the 2007 Dallas Cowboys, who went 13-3 with now Hall of Famer Terrell Owens on
Hall
that
of
team.
Famer.
Tony Romo was Jason Witten's best friend. Remember, they went to Cancun together before the draft game. Remember
That broke your heart, too. I remember this.
By
We
the
all
way-
remember that
I remember you
trip.
talking about it, Skip. It
Yeah,
broke
but
your heart.
By the way, Jason Witten did make first-team All-Pro that year at tight end. That's pretty good. Did you make first-team All-Pro ever?
4 times.
Did you? Okay, you made it that time.
Yeah,
I wanted
that's
to give you a shot.
4 times? Okay, good.
Then let's fast forward to 2014. Dallas Cowboys went 12-4, and DeMarco Murray led the league in rushing.
1,848 yards.
Woo! And how about Des Bryant? He led the league in touchdown catches, and he should have had another one at
And he
Green
also
Bay in the
was what,
playoff
Skip?
game.
He was also what? First team All-Pro.
First team All-Pro. And then let's go a couple more years up to 2016. That team went 13-3 with 2 rookies at quarterback and at running back. And Des Bryant was pretty good, and Cole Beasley led all receivers on that team with 833 receiving yards. So, I don't know, that was a pretty loaded football team, right? Nope, says Jason Witten. This is the most talented. And I got to tell you, it's a little bit of a shot at his best buddy, Tony Romo, because he's saying, I got a better chance with Dak Prescott than I ever had with Tony Romo. I got a better chance with Amari than I ever had with Dez or T.O., right? And I got a better chance with this defense than anybody I ever had on all those other Cowboy defenses. That is a mouthful from the team leader, Jason Witten. So now I'm reading that the sky is starting to fall fall again because Cowboys have opened negotiations with one Jalen Smith, their rising star inside linebacker.
And?
Here we go again. So it's like, how can you sign him and Dak and Zeke and Amari? They already signed DeMarcus.
Yeah.
And what about Byron Jones? What about all these young
what about
stars?
him? What about him?
And I'm saying, what about the best problem in the National Football League that my team has? Because it is loaded with young stars.
loaded.
All of whom deserve to be paid because they're really good and they're all on the verge of arriving at the same time. Not to mention my left tackle, Ty Smith, who said yesterday at one of the OTAs that he's the freshest he's been in several years. He's finally completely healthy, and he says he's a little bigger and a little faster than he used to be. Wow, that's the left tackle. And how about Travis Frederick? How about the center? He's back practicing right now after his issue that he had all last year that cost him the whole year. And all of a sudden, it's starting to come together, yet I had to read Peter King rank my Dallas Cowboys as the 16th best team. See, there are 32 teams, so 16th means they're dead average, right?
Middle of the pack.
And he ranked their division rival Philadelphia all the way up at 8.
Ahead of them.
And guess what? Jason Witten came back because Jason Witten has 0 rings. And all of a sudden, I'm giving Jason Witten a real good shot to at least get to this Super Bowl.
He's been married for a long time, so he got a ring.
Oh, he got a ring.
That's the only one he's going to get.
I'm talking about a Super Bowl
well,
ring.
good luck.
And I'm talking about he's got a good shot, and he's smart enough to know this will be his best shot.
Well, if he go up there, I don't know where they keep the trophies at, but I'm sure if he were to go into
Jerry's office.
Go to Jerry's office, they probably should have him lined so they go and see the different rings, the markups. It's like, Jason, see those? You're never gonna get it. Never
Really?
gonna get it.
Really?
Never
Oh,
go.
okay.
No. Skip Bayless, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And Jason Witten should be ashamed of himself too, because you make some very interesting points. Jenny, read that question one more time, because Skip was filibustering.
What does it tell you? What does that quote tell you if he says this is the most talent I've seen?
They probably missed the playoffs. That would it tell me. Yeah. Skip Bayless, he ought to be ashamed of himself. You mentioned something. You said in 2007, did you know that 2007 roster had an NFL record that still stands to this day? 13 Pro Bowlers, Jenny. Do you realize that of 22 starters, 13 of them made the Pro Bowl? Jason Witten was on that team. Jason Witten had 96 catches, 1,145 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He was first-team All-Pro. T.O. had 81 catches, 1,355, 15 touchdowns, first-team All-Pro. Marion the Barbarian Barber had 10 rushing touchdowns. Tony Romo, DeMarcus Ware, Roy Williams.
Yeah, loaded.
Flozell Adams, Leonard Davis.
And this team is better.
13 Pro Bowl.
Thank you.
Then the 2014, those guys had 8 Pro Bowlers and lost in the divisional round. So what that tell me, the more talent, the least far they're going to go. Now, I remember the time, I think it was 92, 93, 94, they had 11 Pro Bowlers. But guess what was happening? Skip, tell the people what's happening back in the mid-90s when they had all them Pro Bowlers. What were they doing, Skip?
They were winning.
They were winning. They got all these Pro Bowls. In 2007, they had 13 and didn't win a game. In 2014, they had 8 and they lost in the divisional round. So
well, they got robbed. But
don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, they did get robbed.
And so now, Jason Witten is I can't even say he's a fraction. He's not even a decimal of what he was in 2014, let alone 2007, and they're better. How? Where? Are you telling me that Amari Cooper is better than T.O. was in 2007?
Yes.
Are you telling me?
More trustable. Big game trustable. Big catch trustable.
When I see him get double-digit touchdowns, you know T.O. is one of 3 men to ever make all first-team All-Pro with 3 different teams, and all of those guys in the Hall of Fame. Deion Sanders, Ted Hendricks, and one Terrell Owens.
How many Super Bowl rings does T.O. have?
The same many as Amari Cooper.
Oh, okay.
But okay.
Yeah, but Amari's just getting started.
You know, he's just getting started. And Skip, you ought to be, I can't even believe you, Skip. Look, talent, people often ask me, Skip, when we won back-to-back Super Bowls in 97 and 98, I tell people all the time, the 97 team was better. The record does not indicate that, because in 98 we went 14-2. In 97 we were 12-4. But in 97 our left tackle is in the Hall of Fame, Gary Zimmerman. And he was a two-time first-team all-decade player in the 80s and the 90s. Tony Jones was our right tackle, who was a Pro Bowl player at left tackle. We were loaded. I ain't say we had more talent in 98. I said we were better in 97. But when you got 13 Pro Bowlers, that's an NFL. Do you know how long they've been having Pro Bowls? No team can say they had 13. What makes this so amazing, 11 of them was selected. 2 of them was injury replacements. So you still had 11 of your 22 starters went to the Pro Bowl.
And what was the fate of that football team, Mr. Sharpe?
Did Jason Witten, hold on. Jason Witten and Tony Romo was in Cancun. Oh, you don't want to talk about that? They jet skied.
I just brought it up.
That's all what you know. Don't tell it.
I brought it up.
Jason Witten, the team leader, thought it would be most appropriate to be in Cancun with Tony Romo.
The 2 team leaders,
Yeah, I
the
think
quarterback
they take
and
it
the
back.
tight end.
Don't take it back.
I
Well,
think they
it
would.
wasn't like the night before the game, or the week before, because they did have
They
a bye
studied
week.
it.
They had a bye week.
Yeah.
And somebody told me you had a bye week.
Don't worry about what
and,
we
and,
did.
And you went to Las Vegas.
Yeah,
so
they did.
is
To
Cancun
Vegas.
Las Vegas? I think I'd rather. It's
Where's the
safer
footage?
to go to
Where's
Cancun
the
than Las
footage?
Vegas, right?
Where's the footage of me in Vegas?
Yeah, well, you told us.
You told
Where's
us.
the footage?
Yes, you
Maybe I
admitted that.
misspoke. Maybe I misspoke.
You actually volunteered that on the air. So
Look,
I'm sorry.
I'm just giving them a hard time. I don't have any problem. Like I said, you're right.
Okay.
They had a bye week in between. Hey, you get time off.
Yeah.
You don't get to tell me where I get to go on my time off. They want to go to vacation. They want to go to Cancun, San Tropez. Hell, they can go to hell for all I care.
Okay.
But as long as you back in time to practice for that next coming week,
They
all
were.
I know is that they took that L.
They
With
took that
13
L,
Pro
and
Bowlers.
they lost to a wild card team
Wild
led by
card.
Eli Manning. Who
What?
knew? I don't
13
know.
Pro
At home.
With 13 Pro Bowlers.
And Jason Witten is telling you, I trust Dak Prescott in a big game more than I trust Tony Romo. That's what he's telling
I
you.
trust them the same because I already know the fate. I trust them the same. Yeah.
Dak Prescott, who led the NFL in game-winning drives in the fourth quarter and overtime in the last 3 years. I don't know.
It's equal.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I know you don't know anything about deadly snakes, but would you rather get bit by a common brown or a taipan? The end result is the same.
I was gonna say, I
Death
have no idea.
immediately.
Deadliest snake there is the guy who's the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
No, don't do this.
Oh,
See,
that guy.
Skip, you ruined. You know what? We were having a great conversation. I came out here. You came out here and said, Skip, you look nice.
He is the deadliest. He looks nice. He
And
looks,
that's what I said, Skip, you look nice this morning. You got on gray, you got on black with specs, and I'm like, that's really nice.
But I'm a viper.
No,
I never
You a little
believe that.
garden
When
snake.
you over
You a little garden snake. You ain't gonna do
style.
nothing. All you do is eat grasshoppers and lizards. You ain't gonna do nothing.
Well, I don't know. A lot of confidence coming from this team,
good.
Skip.
People, you know what, Skip? You that type, but they see you that type snake. They see you don't even bother you. He gonna get the lizards, the frogs. He gonna get all the grasshoppers.
Leave 'em
He gonna
alone?
get the pests away. Don't bother him.
Oh,
I'm actually an anaconda.
No, you're not
I
no
just
anaconda.
swallow you whole every
No,
day.
you're not no
I
anaconda. No, you a little green garden, a garden variety garden snake.
Okay, what kind of description?
I don't even have to chew. I just swallow you
Yeah,
whole.
no. I win it.
I just digest
You know you Skip. Everybody know you know what? I was at this appearance. They was like, do you know how many things I signed? Bus Skip up.
No way.
Bus Skip up.
See?
Everything says
See,
that?
you're in the Hall of Fame, but you needed me to put you on the map, right?
Yeah.
I need
Sorry,
a slogan.
Shannon, you set
I
yourself
needed a
up for
slogan.
that one.
You like Nike was not Nike until they just did it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't O'Shea Sharpe in the Hall of Fame until I bust Skip up.
Yep.
I have a feeling you two may not agree about this next one. Does Kawhi deserve an A+ for his performance
A what?
last night? An A+. We'll give out grades next.
No mercy.
So the Raptors got a huge Game 3 win last night in double overtime. Kawhi Leonard led the way with 36 points and played a career-high 52 minutes. The other superstar in the game was not as great. The Greek Freak scored just 12 points with 8 turnovers, but he did have 23 rebounds. So, Shannon, let's give out some grades for these guys, both of
let's.
these two guys. I want to hear what you got.
Let's.
Yeah, give them grade. You want grade?
Yeah, I
What
want
grades?
grades.
Oh, Giannis gets a D-.
Ooh, harsh.
The only reason he did not get an F is because he had 23 rebounds. But I don't know how I juxtapose this, Skip. If he gives them anything, I'm talking about anything from a point standpoint, they're up 3-0. So let me get this straight. He goes 5 of 16 from the field. He's 0 of 3 from the three-point line. He's 2 of 7 from the free throw line. He has 8 turnovers, and he's supposed to get what? And he fouled out. When his teammates needed him the most, they could count on him the least.
But you said it was a bogus call.
Whoa.
Well, you did say it was a bogus call.
Unfortunately, I didn't have on a pinstripe, and I did not have a whistle in my mouth.
You
So
do have on pinstripes.
I do today. I do today. But yesterday, I had on shorts on my couch watching this game. Now, that old other guy. Woo! Skip, did you see him yesterday? How he just reached out and picked the ball up?
You know what? I missed the game. I didn't see
You
it.
didn't see it?
What
missed
happened,
it?
Jenny?
Well,
Help me out.
I can't understand how he just reached out in a ball game. I'm not talking about a whistle blown. He just reached out and just grabbed the ball with just one hand, palm it, and pick it up, and just start going with it.
Well, that's an A+ right there, right?
He got an A.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give
Gets
him
an A?
I'm gonna give him.
So we got an A to a D-?
Yes, because one guy,
Lord have
not
mercy.
only did he show up, Jenny, he showed up and showed out. You get extra points for that.
Well, he's shown up. That's what you call it, right?
He's the master. Yeah, he started getting that glow.
Really?
Yeah, he tell him to kiss the
Like
New
a
Balance.
Kung Fu man.
Yeah,
right?
you know, kiss the New Balance.
Yeah.
Skip 36 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. But what got me, what gave him that A for me, is the man played 52 minutes, and he spent a lot of times on what we think, what we believe. You believe Giannis is going to win the MVP. Well, he guarded Giannis. And when he was on Giannis, Giannis was 1 for 9 from the field. 1. So with that, playing 52 minutes, giving it to you on both ends of the court, offense and defense, and when you needed him the most, you know what I'm saying, Skip Bayless, the fourth quarter, rose and shine. Second overtime, gave him the business.
Really?
So Kawhi gets an A, and guess what, Skip? He didn't even have to pay to get this grade here.
Really?
Because you know right now, that's the new thing. They pay to get good grades or to get into college. He ain't even pay for them.
He might have paid you.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, with
no,
a
he
little
didn't.
DM maybe, a little
No,
thank
no.
you very much.
If you get it, you can't get a man nothing but an A.
Really?
That's the only grade that's acceptable in this situation.
Oh.
For him,
On the Shannon Sharpe curve it is.
I don't grade on the curve.
Yeah.
You get what you get. You get what you earn.
Well, you threw me a curve ball because I can't see an A. I saw too much wrong to go A. So I'm going to go number 2 gets a B and Giannis gets a B-.
A B-.
And the only reason I'm giving him a B- is he airballed a free throw, and that disqualifies.
Yeah, what about the 12
B.
points?
Okay, well, again, let's look at the rest of this box. I'll give you the 12 points, but I see 23 rebounds. Does anybody even get close to that? The next closest, Gasol had 12.
Well, Skip, he did
So
miss
he
11
had,
shots.
He had 11 more rebounds than the leading rebounder on the other team.
Well, he did miss
Wow,
11 shots.
that's really
so
good.
Let's just say he got
So
5 of his
who
own.
led the visiting Milwaukee Bucks in assists last night? I don't know, Giannis, and I keep telling you, he makes his teammates better. And number 2, not so much, because during the regular season, he averaged 6 assists a game, and number 2 averaged 3 assists. So on a nightly basis, that's a lot of average going on, where he's going to move the basketball a lot better. Then who led the visiting team with 4 blocks, and probably would have had 1 or 2 more if he hadn't been disqualified shortly into the second overtime, but that's still pretty good, wouldn't you say?
But
4 blocks.
But if you look at what Chris Middleton has a hard job because they still need him to give you production, but he has to guard Kawhi.
Brogdon was guarding him a lot also.
Brogdon was guarding him.
I should put quotes around guarding him because Brogdon just couldn't hang with him. But of course, we know that number 2 had 2 bad thighs or something wrong with his lower legs, and he was just exploding right around Malcolm Brogdon.
But help me understand. Malcolm Brogdon was trying to spend and exerting energy trying to guard Kawhi. He had 20 points. Giannis had 12. George Hill had 24 points. He might have had 24 points in all the final games and 4 final games last year.
Yep.
Where was this George Hill last year, Skip? But that's not. Listen, he had 24 points. They got 16 from Brook Lopez. And you're going to give Giannis, who's going to be the MVP, a B?
He's the driving force of that whole team. He was the reason they were in position going into the second overtime to steal a game on the road.
They like to win
If
a game.
he hadn't fouled out, they were going to win the game because they have a guy who can protect the rim and patrol the lane like no other.
Yeah.
This guy is a monster. You want to talk about a 7-foot monster. He plays like 7'6".
Milwaukee almost won a game despite of their best player. Let that sink in for just a second.
23, team leading 7 assists, 4 blocks.
12.
You're saying in spite of?
Let me
What?
ask you a question. Name the team that can take the second seeded team in their conference other than the Warriors,
Mm-hmm.
name the team that if their best player scores 12 points, they can get the double overtime.
Well,
name
he
the
does
team.
so many things. He does a lot of other things.
LeBron James.
Nobody can do
He
that.
does any more than LeBron. And can LeBron score 12 points in the playoff game and get to that?
Every time he touches the ball, he doesn't have 2 guys on him. He has 3 guys
How many
on
guys
him.
they got on? How many guys
And he
they got?
gives the ball up.
And that's what great players do. So I want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly.
Yeah.
So he's the only great player. He's the first great player in NBA history that when he touches the ball, all the eyes and all the bodies goes toward him. So how did Jordan, how did Kobe, how did Shaq, LeBron, Bird, how did all those guys do it?
Well, it's because neither of these 2 guys were giving grades to or even in the same sentence with any of those
No.
other guys.
You talk
Yes.
about your guy. I don't need you to talk about Kawhi.
Okay.
I talk about Kawhi.
Okay.
Kawhi gets an A.
You can have him.
Kawhi gets an A. Because
Okay,
anybody
so
that can do what he
let's
does.
look deeper into the guy,
Okay,
the most
let's look.
overprotected superstar in the sport.
He's
This
not.
side of the guy who's on his couch now,
He's
LeBron
not- he's
James.
not, though.
He gets an A despite these things going on. Let's look at the end of regulation. Last minute and 12 of regulation, the Bucks go on a 5-0 run in his building. This is do or die. This is, if you go down 0-3, you are cooked in your own building. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. And guess what your guy number 2 did? He did nothing over the last 112. He didn't take a shot. He didn't have a rebound. He didn't have an assist. He did 0. And he couldn't run to the ball and get the ball when they had 2.2 seconds left in their own end, inbounding, because he should have been able to take the last shot. But of course, he's got something wrong with
He
something.
does,
I don't know
does,
what
okay.
it is.
But he's
Okay.
got- okay,
He
Dave-
has no lift and no explosion. So then let's go to the first overtime, shall we? And over the last 128, he's got a wide open 3 with 19.9 left to win the game, and he just missed it. I don't know.
Hold on, Skip.
And then
Now,
he's
we
got
saw-
a buzzer beater.
Skip,
He's got a
don't
buzzer
do-
beater
don't do that,
at the
Skip.
end of the first overtime.
Because we saw a situation in which KD had a wide open 3 and Steph Curry had a wide open
Okay,
3, and they both missed it.
Wait,
so
did-
missing
did
wide
you
open
ask
3.
me about Steph?
No, I'm just saying.
No.
But you making see what you're trying to do.
We're grading number 2,
But-
who at certain points in this game played like number 2.
But you were trying to make it seem like he's a marksman 3-point shooter, and that's not
Well,
the
everybody
case.
tells me he's so clutch after he shot a shot from the corner that rainbow arced and bounced 4 times on the rim and accidentally fell in thanks to the basketball gods or the hand of the
I just
basketball
want you to know
gods.
what you want me to do with 36, 9, and
Okay,
5.
I'm not finished yet. So he missed the 2 shots that could have won the game at the end of the first overtime. And then the heavens opened because Giannis got called for what you call a bogus 6th foul just 24 seconds into overtime number 2.
Okay,
and
what
that's
about
the
the-
end.
okay,
That's it.
okay, what
he
about
took
the-
over. I give him. He took over with no rim protector, no lane patrol.
So what about those
I
other-
give you that.
So what about those other 5?
And by the way, I didn't even mention this, but in the second overtime after Giannis went out, would you believe that number 2 had 2 big turnovers where he just lost the handle and lost the ball?
And got him back. And got him back.
4-13 and 2-11. He turned it over twice, but you're giving him an A because you're giving him a pass.
Pass for what?
Pass.
Because no, I grade him. I grade him like you grade Tom
This
Brady.
game should have been
what-
over a
no,
long
no, no.
time before
What I
this.
do is that I grade the players like you grade Tom Brady, like you did Tim Tebow. Because when Tom Brady threw that interception, all you told me he did was throw the clutch pass in the fourth quarter, so he got an A. That's what you tell me.
It's hard to compare football to basketball because in basketball, one player can dominate the game. And once that one player is disqualified on fouls, then it's all over.
Skip,
He
was-
should have done what he
Skip,
did.
He had 12 points. How was he dominating the game? He had 6 at the half.
All I know is Milwaukee was in position to win this game until he went out.
That's what lets you know how good Milwaukee supporting cast is. They took a team to double overtime despite their best player having 12 points in 45 minutes. You should be ashamed of yourself for giving him a B. You really should, Skip.
Siakam had a game-saving block with just 32 seconds left. in
He
the
should
second
have. Did you
overtime.
see what he did in game 2?
He had, I don't know how he did this. He had 25 points on 8 of 19 last night. Your guy was 11 of 25, and he continues to shoot in the mid-40s. So he's jacking up a lot of shots and missing a whole lot of shots.
Well, guys, no grades to give out for Kevin Durant since he is still out. But should he be upset about the Warriors winning without him? No problem doing it. We'll discuss that with Chris Broussard.
No mercy.
Warriors continue to roll without Kevin Durant. They've won 4 straight without KD, and he'll be out again tonight. Over the weekend, Newsday reported that Durant is unhappy with, quote, prodding from Steve Kerr, and he's realizing that Steph Curry will always be the #1 star for the Warriors. And on Friday, there was an Instagram post with a quote from Seth Curry where he said the Warriors move around faster when KD's not out there. They're definitely not a better team, but they're harder to guard. Durant's response to that was, quote, hell no.
Hell no.
Of
Wow,
course, he's got to
interesting.
respond, you know? That's just his style.
Wow.
We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Chris, good morning.
Good morning.
Chris, what's going on with KD?
Well, first of all, let me address the Steve Kerr situation. He should have absolutely no problem with Steve Kerr.
Zero.
Is prodding, is that another word for coaching?
Yeah.
I mean, really, like, if you can't let a coach prod you, then you just don't want to be coached. I really don't put much stock into this. You know, Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan got into it at times. Phil Jackson, Kobe Bryant. It happens. So I don't put much into that at all. The bigger thing is Steph's team. KD knew it was Steph's team when he went there. But there were 2 things that he had not experienced that he wanted that overrode his sense that it would be Steph's team. Number 1, he really did love the way they played. The selflessness, the ball movement, the player movement. He wanted to be a part of that after all those years with Russ, ISO ball. Secondly, of course, rings.
Yes.
Okay? So even though he knew it's somebody else's team, those 2 desires overrode it. But now that he's experienced all that, the ball movement, the player movement, the way they play, and then the championships, and by his own admission, he has said, is this it? These championships, it's nice, but it's no big deal.
Is that all there is?
Right. Now there's nothing to override the understanding that this is somebody else's team. And he's, for 3 years, KD's had to live with this. His own general manager at the parade last year, Bob Myers poking fun at him. Well, Steph's been here since the beginning. KD's not. Clyde Frazier, another top 50 player of all time. Not a role player, an all-time great, saying, there's an asterisk, by him.
Yep.
And then, look, I can name 2 players I've talked to off the top of my head who have told me, look, everybody respects KD's game. You can't help but know this dude is awesome. But they look a little funny at the rings because they feel like a lot of guys could have went there and got those.
Wow.
And so KD understands this, so that is what is eating him up right now. And look, everybody's wondering, let me finish with this point. After all that's gone over the last 3 years, him winning the finals MVPs the last 2 years, the players on his own team, Steph, Klay, saying he's the best player on the team. We need him. Everybody saying he's probably the best player in the world. You can tell yourself, man, these critics don't know what they're talking about because they do need me. I've been the finals MVP the last 2 years. Clearly they need me.
Sure.
But now, with your own eyes, you're watching it, and KD is smart. He's a basketball, IQ is high. He knows he's seeing how good Steph is now, how Klay and Steph are demolishing Lillard and CJ, how Draymond is playing awesome basketball. And now he's seeing it within himself. They don't need me. And here's let's get to the crux of the matter. Because everybody's saying, are they better without KD? Can they be better? Here's the issue. They don't have to be better without KD. They just have to be better than everybody else without KD.
Yep.
If they win this championship without KD, people already belittling the 2 rings.
KD is diminished.
No question.
Fact. But hold on, Skip. You remember I said the very thing. I said the very thing that Kevin Durant is upset about Steve Kerr about. And I was ignorant for saying what I said. That was an ignorant statement. I said he would never be loved like Steph Curry in the Bay.
You said that.
I said it, and he said that was
a fact.
That's an ignorant statement. Really? And now the very thing that he called me, said I was ignorant for saying, is what he's upset about. You said that the fact that he loved the ball movement, was willing to override that against his better judgment what he was doing. The opportunity to win the rings overrode. But what he couldn't get his mind around is that he won finals MVP. and he still was never embraced like Steph was. He couldn't override that. Skip, I can get my round. You know what? Yeah, they can call me a sucker for going and jumping on a 73-19. Yeah, but I got these rings. I'm the finals MVP. I hit the shots of shots heard around the world. Steph, our baby, though. We like Steph more than you. And I kept telling people all the time, Kevin Durant's a private jet. Skip, I got a little money. Not much. I ain't got Skip Bayless money. I got a little money. I could fly private sometimes.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Must be nice.
It's a luxury.
Must be nice.
But if Delta going exactly the spot the private jet can take me, why the hell would I do that?
I just use points every time I fly. That's all I got.
I ain't got no points. I ain't got no points. But anyway, KD was a luxury.
Yeah.
KD makes him unbeatable in a 7-game series. But I tell you what, he better pray he gets back. Because if they win this title without Kevin Durant, nobody will ever look at Kevin Durant the same.
Well, that's why he'll have to leave.
Yeah. At this
They
point.
can look at him the same if he goes somewhere else and leads a team to a
Wins the
championship.
title.
Skip, how you the best player in the world, and you missed the last 2 series in a game and a half of the other one, and they win, and they demolish. It wasn't even close. Think about they went 6 games with the Clippers. They demolished Houston without you. They demolished in Portland without you. They'll probably run through Toronto or Milwaukee without you. And you want to walk around and say, I'm the baddest man on the planet. How?
So my first question is this. Where has Kevin Durant been during the last 4 playoff games? Not on the bench. How many best players on teams, on really good teams, would say, I'm not even going to go out there and associate with you guys because I'm hurt and I'll just stay in the locker room? It's a bad look because they're supposed to be together, and now it looks like he's separating himself. I'm above all that. I'm not going to go sit on the end of the bench in civvies and have to clap for you guys. That's how it comes across to me. It's wrong. It's a bad look, even though we saw in game 1 at Oakland, I think it was, where the TV camera caught him. He was shaking their hands as they came up.
Game two, they were
By the
behind.
locker room.
But
That was game 2, they were behind.
I don't know if we
Yeah.
saw it at game 1 or not.
Yeah.
But I assume he's just watching it on TV in the
Yep.
locker room. That is wrong. Now to the irony of the Seth statement, which I brought up the next day on this show because I loved it, because I agree with it, and it's exactly what I keep saying about these Warriors. Again, are they better without? No, they're not better on paper without Kevin Durant because he's the best player in the world to me and back-to-back Finals MVP. Are they playing better without Kevin Durant than they were when Houston was on its 22-9 run in the third quarter and looked like it had seized control of that game? Yes, they're playing better because, to Seth's point, they are definitely harder to guard because everybody's moving. So Kevin left iso ball in Oklahoma City for the beautiful ball movement that he saw in Oakland, and now it has degenerated slowly but surely and inevitably toward him because he's now clear aside, iso, dribble, rise up over 2 defenders and shoot a 15-foot jump shot. That's what their offense had become, and it's really good. But again, right now, to my eye, it's working a little better without him as far as the ball movement because, to Seth's point, it's way harder to guard those 2 guards. And if you throw Iggy in there and everybody else is moving, Draymond, they're moving and grooving and picking. And again, that's a lot harder to guard because Seth could be guarding his brother, and his brother, when Kevin's on the floor, Seth's just watching.
Yeah,
Are you going? Are you going to go?
just standing in the corner.
Yeah.
But here, Skip, he had a post. There's a guy that made a post. Doubt us without KD. Doubt Curry. Doubt Clay and Dre. And keep thinking Milwaukee is better. A fan wrote on the post of Warriors Talk Instagram. Y'all doubters and haters will see. Kevin Durant responds, very divisive, Mikey. Let's celebrate the Dub Nation.
No.
F wrong.
No.
That's
With
just
you.
some. How many followers? Mikey got like 23 followers, I think.
I mean,
Skip, all he said, if you're doubting us with Clay and Steph and Draymond, you're doubting these Warriors without KD, we're going to prove you wrong. KD said you being divisive. All he doing is...
Let me say this, though, and this is where I disagree with you, Shannon.
What's that?
If they're better without KD or win the championship without him, I agree, those titles are diminished a little bit. But this is really not a slight on how great KD is.
No!
He still could be the best player in the world. I'm not so sure if, let's say, LeBron had gone to the Warriors instead of KD. Now, they would win titles because they'd be so overwhelmingly talented.
Right.
But this very same scenario could happen.
Yes.
Because if LeBron was there, he would handle the ball. Steph and Klay would be glorified spot-up shooters, and they'd win. But if LeBron got hurt and he's out of it, all of a sudden this happens again, and you would be like, this is beautiful. They look better without LeBron.
But see, that's my argument. They were so great before he got there. If they had lost the 2 finals and KD comes and puts them over the top, now we got a conversation. They 73-9 with a 2-time league MVP. What the hell you expect them to be?
Well, the answer is, look, if they had won that championship against Cleveland, KD never would have went there.
That's true.
And now you're seeing it. They look like they're going to win it without him.
Skip, if Julio Jones leaves Atlanta and goes and links up with Tom Brady and wins the championship, man, Julio was bad. Boy, dude, they won before you got there.
That is true, which harks back to the quote from our Chris Haynes on Yahoo that in the incident that Draymond got into it with KD on the bench during the Clippers game early this season, the quotes were, and I'm going to read the quotes again, according to Chris Haynes, that Draymond looked at him on the bench and said, "We don't need you. We won without you. Leave," and called him the B word.
No, he didn't say, he said leave, B.
Leave.
And I ain't talking about B like, hey, B, what's up, B? Not that kind of B, the other kind of B.
Yeah, look, I'm glad Kevin Durant is not seriously injured. I want to see how this plays out.
His ego,
honestly.
I tell you what, listen.
But he's human.
Yeah.
That's all this means. Doesn't mean he's a bad person. No. He's a human being.
With the thinnest superstar
And
skin
an
we've ever
extra
seen.
sensitive human being.
He
Yes.
does everything.
I'm talking to you from a guy that's been in that situation. You get hurt, Skip, and the team keeps moving along without you, and like, wait a minute. Yeah, and
what if they look better without you?
I'm like, they doing it without me. So that means they gonna think they can go on without me. They're not gonna make.
You talk about not letting it get to you and the mental side of the game. That has to affect it.
Of course it does.
Sitting there.
But Steph Curry is just going to show you. Y'all guys realize I'm the last 2-time MVP? I'm the last guy to win consecutive MVPs. So while I conceded, I took a back seat. But I show you, I'm a lead dog.
Do you think he feels like they're just pushing him out the door now?
Let me look, and this is I've talked to some players. What players tell me is KD is recruiting guys to go to New York with him.
Okay.
Right now. So
no surprise.
So we're
and if we hear that, you can't tell me the Warriors players don't hear that.
And guess what? Steph, Klay, and Draymond, they done packed their suitcase. They done called them an Uber. Say, don't matter how long you gotta wait, we got you.
They're not
They
too
saying
worried.
the right stuff, but they gotta know inside
But Steph Curry like, we gonna go with, because now we keep talking about KD passing LeBron. Let Steph Curry win this one and another one. Guess what, KD?
Let Steph win this one.
Different conversation.
And
All
you
right.
gotta start throwing him in there.
We got to move on to what we saw last night.
Yep.
Number 2 in Toronto. Now, the best player on the planet. I'm feeling Skip rolling his eyes already at me. We'll discuss.
No mercy.
Well, last night was really the Kawhi Leonard show in Toronto. He scored 36 points in 52 minutes, and the Raptors got a huge win in double overtime to get back in the series. Kawhi was also limping around the court throughout the game after awkwardly landing in the first quarter. So, Chris Broussard, he's still with us. Chris, how impressive was Kawhi to you last night?
Tremendous.
Woo!
Magnifico. Is that what they call it?
Magnifico.
I mean, look, we obviously know what he did offensively, 36 and 9. Defensively, his defense on Giannis, one of the hardest men to guard on the planet. Giannis was 1 for 9 when Kawhi guarded him.
Yeah.
4 for 7 against everybody else, only 2 points.
When the whole team guarded.
Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. Don't do minutes.
Well, they walled it off, but
walled it
I
off.
got to give Kawhi credit. Because in the first 2 games, Kawhi didn't guard him solo, and we know what Giannis did, 27 points a game. So great defensively, great offensively. I know he's now your nemesis, Skip, but I feel like he's answering every challenge you throw his way. Like, he's not clutch. He scores 8 points in the second overtime. He's not, tough.
It's not your turn yet.
He's not tough. He plays through the leg injury. Not only plays through it, but has 52 minutes.
He's something. He's the toughest mentally I've ever seen.
Here's the final thing. What we have to understand with Kawhi is that he is learning to lead a team as we speak. Like,
true.
he only had 1 year in San Antonio after Duncan retired where he was the man. And even LaMarcus Aldridge was there, so who was the man? It was kind of, you know,
And LaMarcus went
1-1-A.
there because they said when Tim leaves, you will
Right.
be the guy.
So
You're telling me?
So Kawhi is learning all it takes, just like Kyrie did or didn't this year, how to carry a team, how to pick up your teammates when they're not playing well, how to handle all the media hype when you're the number one guy, definitely taking the last shot. And I'll even throw this in, being a volume shooter. Kawhi really, if you look at his game, he's really not built to be that 25, 30 shot a
Really?
game guy.
No.
That's not
I
his
thought
game.
he was the man.
He's the man, but they're different. Like, everybody's got a threshold, even the great players, where if you start to shoot too much, your percentage is going to go down. For
Really?
LeBron, remember in the 2015 finals, LeBron's shooting 30-something times a game, and his percentage was low because he's not the guy that likes to shoot that much.
It's hard to shoot 50%.
Right.
Shoot
When
30,
you start,
40 times.
And Kawhi's percentage has been lower, but he's taking volume shots because that's what the team needs. So that's all. This is all a part of learning to
Really?
become the man.
Oh, interesting.
And he is
I'm
being the
sorry.
man.
I'm going now. You just got preempted by that. So, Mr. Broussard, I'm going to remind you that going into last night over his previous 5 games, your guy, number 2, had answered my challenge by going 4 of 26 from 3 over his previous 5 games. That's 15%. He's a 15% three-point shooter going into last night. So he owed his team a little bit because this is do or die at home. You're about to fall to 0-3. And I will continue to tell you what I told him. This guy's a shrewd operator. He's not all that he appears. He seems
Yes,
like such a
He's not
nice,
as
quiet
simple.
guy. Nope. He knew exactly what was coming because the world was about to cave in on him because he's the North now. Whether you like it or not, he is the man in Toronto. And he knew early in that game that, it's starting to slip away a little bit, so maybe I should come down a little awkwardly and, it's my
Hey,
left.
stop. That
It's
better
my
stop.
left leg. It's my left leg. And it's another mysterious injury. And I read the litany to him when we opened the show. There were like 20 different weird injuries that he suffered while he was 6 years with the Spurs after his rookie year.
Yeah.
And I couldn't explain about 2/3 of them because they're just mysterious to me. And last night I couldn't explain that one. All of a sudden the TNT guys are saying, he has no lift, he has no explosion. I'm saying he looks just fine to me. And then in the second overtime, he comes down on his right leg, and now he's limping on his right leg. So I'm thinking, did he forget which leg was hurt, or did he? Now are both of them hurt? And I'm going to ask what I tweeted at the end of the game. Is it going to take a year to heal both these leg injuries now? Because I don't know. Is he going to come? When will he come back? So now let's get to the bottom line of what happened that you conveniently excluded from your case that you made. What happened at the beginning of the second overtime? 26 seconds into the second overtime. What happened? Giannis fouled out. He said it was a bogus foul call. I'm going to give it a 50-50. I'll get it like a 60-40 that it was correct because I didn't think he was quite set. He was still moving sideways. But whatever the case may be, he was gone shortly into the overtime. So there's 4 minutes and 36 seconds left that he gets to play, number 2, with no Giannis. There's no rim protector. There's no lane patroller for the Bucks anymore. So he finally did what he should have done at the end of regulation and at the end of the first overtime when he was completely unclutched the way he usually is. And again, we did it Friday, but if you go back to the fourth quarters, the previous 4 or 5 games, he just came up empty in fourth quarters. And once again, at the end of the fourth quarter last night, he came up really empty because over the last 112 of regulation, he did nothing. He didn't touch the ball. He didn't shoot the ball. He had no assists. He had no rebounds. And with 2.2 seconds left, they're inbounding on his end. Just go get the ball and turn around and shoot it. You're the man. You're the guy. You're clutch, as you say. But no, he let Siakam shoot a desperation prayer because everybody's looking, well, where are you?
Well,
Where's our man?
Siakam, he shouldn't have been in that spot.
Oh, really? Okay.
Siakam had to miss those 2 free throws. We're not even having this point.
Right, but this is the man, and then we get to the first
He
overtime. Down the stretch of the first overtime, last 128. He missed a wide open three with 19.9, and then he's got a buzzer beater, and he shoots rainbows over people that mysteriously bounce around and fall in. I don't know. I guess the basketball god said, not tonight. You're not Mr. Lucky tonight.
They say, we ain't going to let you do the buzzer beater.
So finally, Giannis fouls out, and he finally did what he should have done at the end of regulation, at home and do or die, or at the end of the first overtime, at home, do or die. He finally said, I can take this game over. And you know what? He looked really explosive. He had some lift to me. I don't know how he did it, but it's a miracle. He is the toughest mentally. You know, he's got the stomach for this because he's always hurt. I don't know. I guess he's been hurt so much that he knows how to live with it now.
You know what,
right?
I was thinking.
Way to go.
Mentally tough. You think he was mentally tough in Game 4 against Philly when he had 39? 13.
Was he hurt? He probably was.
Hold on, talk about it. It's my time. This is my time. You've been preempted by me.
He missed 23 shots in that game.
Okay.
You like that?
Game 7?
23 shots. He missed 23 shots. He was 11 for 30.
Michael Jordan said in his
16
famous quote, the reason why he's been successful, he said he's missed 36 buzzer beaters. He's missed thousands and thousands of shots. But it was those ones that he missed that allowed him to be successful.
I told you we're going to get struck by lightning if you keep making that comparison.
There is no comparison. Yeah. I'm just saying. Nobody makes all their shots. It seemed like Wilt did. That average he averaged. Right. Seemed like he made all his shots. But Skip, you got to give the man credit. He played
I give him some credit.
52
he
minutes.
did what he should have done once Giannis was out.
Well, why didn't Giannis do that? When he was in.
Giannis had 23 rebounds, led his team with 7 assists, 4 blocks.
I don't want to give you away, but I have a sneaky, strong suspicion. You voted for Giannis for the MVP.
Yes.
You feel, I mean, the MVP had 12 points. And despite that, his teammate, who I think is the best supporting cast in basketball, went to double overtime to lose when the starter, when the best player, well, one of them is going to win MVP, had 12. What other
Timeout.
That's not the
Eric
best
Bledsoe,
supporting cast.
3 for 16 last night. Chris Middleton, 3 for 16 last night.
No,
you like that?
No, I'm not saying I'm not just saying particular.
How is that the best supporting cast in basketball?
Overall, because we've seen
Mirotic, 3 for 11 last night.
We've seen Giannis play where he doesn't have his best game, even against Boston, and those guys brought it home. Look at Brogdon. Tell me the last time you saw George Hill play like that. Was he anything comparable to that last year for Cleveland?
That's a lot of that system, positions you're put in, players you're playing with.
A lot of that is pressure. Playing with LeBron James as opposed to Giannis Antetokounmpo.
You going too far to say Milwaukee has the best supporting cast in the league?
There's a reason why.
First of all, Golden State clearly does.
Well, but see, I don't really look at their supporting cast because I look
it's
at
a
Clay.
whole team
Yeah,
of stars.
Clay ain't no supporting cast.
Yeah,
Draymond ain't no support. But when you look at Brogdon, you look at these guys. Look at Lopez.
But look at them individually. They're not that great. This is the strength of team.
Right.
That's what this is. Chemistry, good coaching, trust, working together.
Sure.
But what other team you know, their best player can have 12 and then go to double overtime before they lose?
But that's one game. That's one game.
But name the game that James Harden could have 12. LeBron could have 12. Look at what Dame Lillard's doing. They got a 17-point lead, 18-point lead.
They won a couple games, I believe, against Denver, or at least one with him struggling.
I love it how you've changed
And that's
the narrative
coaching, too.
and the question.
The players
You've
you
changed the
named are
question.
all ball dominant.
Well, so this was supposed to be about number 2, but he doesn't have an argument against mine
Number
on
2 was magnificent. I already told you, number 2 was
I just told
magnificent.
you how he wasn't.
I think, Skip,
I
you're
didn't even mention
punishing.
the 2 turnovers down the stretch in the second.
2 turnovers. That's what we had.
You're
They were huge
punishing
at the time.
Kawhi for not being perfect.
Clutch.
He's not
Clutch.
perfect.
No, he's become the most overprotected superstar this side of the guy on his couch.
How?
LeBron James.
How?
Because he gets pass after pass, and then the TNT guys are saying, oh, this is all-time gutsy because
It
he
is.
doesn't have any lift or explosion. Baloney. He's got everything going.
52 minutes gone, Giannis.
How did he do it with those injuries? I don't know.
Because guts.
Even if
quad
he doesn't
injuries.
have the injuries, 52 minutes.
You're going to feel it.
Way to go.
Right.
You could see it in all of them.
Yeah, I think
towards
both
the
of
end
you are
that.
conceding that he was
Tremendous.
just laying it on thick with those
No,
injuries.
I thought
think
it was
both of you.
unbelievable.
Oh, okay.
I didn't hear the TNT because I don't need it. I just need to see it.
Yeah.
I just need to see old show enough. He started
Yeah.
glowing at the end. Hey, Chris, he got that second. He said, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We going home. We're not playing a third overtime. We're going home. And I got this.
I was just chuckling to myself, thinking, where is Greg Popovich right now? Because he has to be chuckling sarcastically because he's seen this act many times in the 6 years he was in San Antonio after his rookie year. Can I just give you a few of the injuries he suffered, quote unquote, because they were always mysterious. Strained right calf, I don't know about that one. Quad tendonitis, I don't know what it was. I couldn't define it. Sore left knee, but how? What happened? I don't know. Then he did have a fractured right hand. I'll give you that one. But then he had tightness left calf, bruised right quadriceps. I don't know where that
Greg
come
Popovich
from.
has a lot of time to look at that
Concussion,
list 'cause he's on
sprained
his
left
couch.
ankle,
I don't
and
think
then
he's
partial
chuckling.
tear in left shoulder. It's like every other week it was something else, and he's just missing games.
Chris, if you don't
He
mind me
missed
asking, can I ask you a
24,
question,
16,
Chris?
18, 74
Would Popovich,
games.
would
He's always
Popovich,
hurt.
would he die to have Kawhi on this team right now?
I don't think he would die. I think
but-
he'd be dead, right? I mean,
He would
that
love to have Kawhi on this team. You know that,
If
Skip.
Kawhi was on the Spurs,
They probably be playing right now.
oh, they be playing right now.
But he knows that's not realistic because he knows the guy quit on the Spurs because he just wanted out.
It was
For
injured.
whatever weird
He
reason.
wanted
'Cause
out.
He's a weird
Well,
dude.
hey, where's Tony Parker?
Yeah.
Tony Parker injury was worse than him. They should have
he's-
kept him.
He's going to the Hall of Fame. That's where he is.
That's where Kawhi gonna be going to.
Where's Manu Ginobili? He's going to the Hall of
Hey,
Fame.
Chris, do you believe Kawhi will be in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
He will be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, we're
A
already
Finals
putting him in?
Already.
Yeah.
A Finals MVP with two
I
defensive
know
players.
he's already
of
in
the
the injury Hall of Fame.
No, dude,
Didn't
this is-
quit last
Yeah.
night.
year. That's what I'm
Saw
saying.
52
Milwaukee wished
minutes
he
of
would have
it.
quit.
Okay,
got
that
more-
series, guys,
Encore.
far from over. Chris, thank you for
Watch
joining
what he
us.
does tomorrow night.
Really? Is he going to play?
Encore.
I don't know if he'll play.
You got him winning tomorrow night?
He'll be
Magnifico.
resting up.
Mwah.
All right, different team in
Yeah,
a
but
little bit of a problem right now. The Blazers, they're down 3-0. Is it
Yep.
all Damian Lillard's fault? What's he dealing with injury-wise? We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
Damian Lillard's struggles, well, they've continued, and on Saturday night, we saw more of the same. He made just 5 of 18 shots, and his scoring and shooting have gotten worse each series through the playoffs. Yesterday, he also confirmed that he's been playing with a separated rib after a Warriors player fell on him Game 2, but he said the injury is not affecting his game. Shannon, how much of a pass do you give Lillard for this injury?
0. The greats don't get past the Skip. This is the standard which they set. The expectation level is that you play through all things. And if you're out there, Portland fans, all they see is 0, and they see Lillard on the back. They don't know what it took for him to get there, but they expect him to play at the level in which they're accustomed to seeing him play.
Yep.
Especially what he did the first round. Especially given like 3 or 4 of those games against the Nuggets, he was all outstanding. That's the standard in which he's set. He wants to be thought of as one of these greats.
Yep.
Well, this is what you have to do.
This is
You
the time.
You have to do it in these moments, Skip. So no one cares. Okay, was he hurt when they had a 17-point lead? Was he hurt when they had an 18-point lead? Or is he only getting hurt when he's not playing well down the stretch? Because if I'm not mistaken, Skip, they got these leads somehow with Dame Lillard out there on the court.
Yep.
Dame, let me explain something to you, bro. When you're in situations like this and you make the most money, you have to do the most to make sure you're on the court. Now, I know you might not like needles. It might make you feel a little queasy. But if it's going to give you the release, the relief that you need to help you go play at the higher level, bro, you got to do that. You worry about the stomach later. Get some Imodium. Get some kale Pectel, something. It'll calm your stomach down. But, bro, you got to play. And you got to play great. That's the only chance you guys have of winning. You must be great. And right now, you're not great. You have as many turnovers as field goals made, and that's not good enough.
Nope. So allow me to preface my comments by saying I think Damian Lillard is a really good guy, good man.
Yes.
Good for the game, good for the NBA.
Yeah.
I think he's a really, really good basketball player. But as I always say, this level of the postseason either reveals or exposes your basketball character, and his is getting exposed. Because what do you call him? Dame Dollar?
Yes.
He's been worth about $1 in these fourth quarters
Yes.
of these playoff games. And what is it? Dame time,
Yeah.
right? It's time for him
Clock
to
stop.
disappear. The clock has stopped on
it's not
him.
working.
Yeah, or it struck 12 and he turned back into a pumpkin, right?
Yes.
Because this is embarrassing to me to even have to watch him and his partner in quote-unquote crime, CJ, because they just disappear. They're getting outclassed and outplayed by the two real superstars who play for the Golden State Warriors. Those two guys are so much mentally tougher than Dame and CJ, but especially Dame because he's the guy who gets all the acclaim. He's known as Portland's superstar. He's the guy who said, let me stay in Portland. I don't want to go join a super team. I want to stay home and win it here.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm sure a lot of Portland fans are saying, I just don't know if we can build around him and win with him when he disappears like this in the biggest playoff moments.
Right.
Since Damian's rookie season, of all the players who have played in the playoffs, his plus-minus is second worst to DeMar DeRozan's. It's minus 215 for every playoff minute he's played. He's minus 215. It's just, it's not good enough. It's just, it's not who you are. So you're getting exposed as little more than a regular season wonder. And I will give him this. He outpoised Russell Westbrook in round number one. He outplayed him in all the right basketball ways, right? He showed Russ everything that Russ is missing. But in the end, give me Russ. The more valuable player going forward is still Russ. He plays with a almost out of control rage, but he plays with rage. Dame plays with almost too much poise for my taste because once he got up against Denver in games 6 and 7 and then Golden State, he's just playing slow. It's like the snail blazers. You know, that's all he is.
Well, Skip, if you go back to Game 7 against the Nuggets, he hadn't played well.
No.
He had a phenomenal game, Game 6, 32. CJ chipped in with 30, and then CJ came back with 37. Dame hadn't played well since Game 7 against the Nuggets. And in order for them to get back in to see, well, it's over. They're probably getting swept. It's over, Skip.
But they had two silver platter opportunities.
There for the taking.
They're tied going to the fourth quarter of Game 2 at Golden State, and then they're only down 3 after they got blown off the map in the third quarter, going to the fourth quarter the other night.
Skip, they scored 30. The Trailblazers scored 37 points in the second quarter. They scored 33 in the second half.
The last we saw of what could have been the Trailblazers was Seth's shot. He had a 3 late in the second quarter, and that put them up 18 points.
Yes.
And it was like the sky fell on Golden State, except it didn't, because they said, no, watch this. Watch who we are.
Maybe what we didn't know at the time is that the damage that 17-point victory that Golden State pulled out was the psychological damage that it done to Portland.
Yep.
We didn't, Skip, because the thing is there's no way. And then you get another lead at home. You go into your building. So what Portland is thinking, no lead we get is big enough. Golden State is saying, no lead you get, we can't come from behind and catch you.
That's true.
So now there's two mindsets playing, and Golden State is stronger than Portland.
That is correct. You know, it almost reminds me of tennis. I've covered a lot of Wimbledon tennis, high stage, big stakes tennis. It's mano a mano, and one star will impose his or her will on the other star over a long period of time, because these matches can go forever, especially on the men's side. They just impose their will. I am psychologically, mentally stronger than you are, and it's almost like the two guards versus the two guards. It's like a tennis match in which the two Golden State guards have imposed their will upon the two Portland guards, and they are shrinking quickly. And it's hard to watch. It's just, man, I hate it for Damian. I'm not giving him a pass either because I don't know.
The thing is, Skip, is that if you look at it, they're the second best backcourt in all of basketball. But the number one backcourt is so far ahead of the number two, just forget that. And I know sometimes, you know, Dame wants to I'm just as good as Steph.
It's hard. It's hard when you look at it now. You can't even say that.
Seriously, do you think Damian going forward over time, is he better than Russell Westbrook? I just don't think he is.
Skip about this thing, they do different things. Russ is asked to do way more because Nurkic and Nurkic is not there. It'd have been interesting to see what they would have done had he been there.
It would have been.
But I think they asked Russ to do more than what they asked Dame to do.
I don't know. Russell Westbrook he is a terror on the basketball court. And again, he hasn't grown up yet and figured out how to do the little things that make him big thing. Dame is all about the little things. He just doesn't have the big things.
He'll get right.
I don't want him to get swept.
He's going to take that pain-killing injection. He'll be right.
At some point.
They play tonight. He'll be right. He'll be right.
And then if they get the win, he can go back to Oakland, play there again, hometown. I mean, I know that's a stretch at this point.
I mean,
we just don't. I don't want him to get
stretching.
All you doing is delaying the tea time.
Yep.
It's over.
That's the future for this group?
It's over. You're not winning no four. You're not winning no four straight.
It's hard to keep getting swept. You know, it doesn't look good for your resume. Let's talk about a different resume. Kawhi Leonard, is he starting to look Jordan-esque?
Who says that?
Kendrick Perkins thinks
Oh,
so.
bring
and
it
good
out
news
here.
for us. He
Bring
is
it
here
out
next.
No mercy.
Kawhi Leonard was the star last night in the Raptors' double overtime win. He scored 36 points in 52 minutes. After the game, he was asked about all of the minutes and said, "You definitely feel it. Just get my treatment and move on to the next one." Kendrick Perkins tweeted this last night. "That's what you call a grinded-out type win by the Raptors. Gasol, Siakam, Serge, and Powell all stepped up tonight. Once again, Kawhi Jordan to the rescue."
Yes.
Who?
On the flight headed to LA. We'll be on FS1 all week. Can't wait to hear what Skip has to say about good old number 2. Lucky
What?
us. This is great.
you
We
really
got Kendrick
type those
back
words?
here with
I
us.
did.
Were you in your right mind when you typed
I
that?
was actually on the plane
Were
typing.
you?
And yeah,
Were you sipping a beverage? Or?
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
Either
Okay.
way.
Yeah,
Hey,
but you know when that happens, the truth come out.
That's what you always say.
Kendrick, I got to
does.
start with you
It
on this
definitely
one. How impressive was Kawhi Jordan last night?
He was very impressive yesterday. And for a moment in the first half, I typed out a tweet and I said that Brogdon was low-key outplaying Kawhi, right? And I deleted it.
Well, that was
'Cause I didn't
wise
wanna-
of you because that
Yeah.
flipped.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
flipped instantly. So it seemed like to me, Kawhi turned on the switch. After Lowry and Powell went out in foul trouble, he went to another level. Now, Giannis, who's probably going to win MVP this year, on the defensive end. On the defensive end, Kawhi Leonard locked him up. I mean, put him in a straitjacket. I mean, it was,
A straitjacket?
Yeah, a straitjacket. I mean, it was child abuse. What he
Really?
done to the
Child
guy.
abuse?
Yes, and I had to applaud
Lord.
Kawhi because once again, Kawhi Jordan with the killer mentality, he came in. Because usually the best player on the team and the amount of work he has to do on the offensive end, usually they don't put that, they don't let you match up with the best player because you have so much to do on the offensive end that you need to save your energy. Yeah. But game 3, Kawhi took on the challenge. Okay, I'm going to guard you and I'm going to go on the other end and I'm going to put up 34 points. Even though it was on 25 shots, guess what he did? He did a great job of getting to the free throw line, something that MJ would do. He got to the free throw line, and down the stretch, he made every big play. Got to every loose ball.
Really?
Every steal down the stretch, and 8 points in the second OT. That was enough said.
Really?
Go ahead, Skip.
So
Go ahead.
if a man is wearing handcuffs, literally wearing handcuffs, how does he get 23 rebounds? I don't know. Maybe he got them with his elbows or something. I don't know.
A lot of them cut
like
right to him.
He
Right
get
to
them right under his wing here. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, it was offensively.
huh?
It's easy to go grab defense. I mean,
Really?
we pass stats all the time.
Oh,
We
past stats.
Yeah, we see
So
that
he
all the
had
time.
Stats. So I can't tell you how offended I am by your so-and-so Jordan reference because that's just outrageous. Because can I remind you that when number 2 was in San Antonio, these are the games he missed over his last 6 years, 24, 16, 18, 10, 8, and then 73 games. I'm going to remind you that Michael Jeffrey Jordan 9 times played all 82 games, and then he also had an 81-game season and an 80-game season. So that means 11 times he played 80-plus games. And you dare to put this kid in that conversation? We're going to get struck by lightning.
Skip, see,
We are.
See what you do, Skip. Sometimes great players have injury. Okay, Michael didn't have, he had the broken foot, and really that was the
That was
only,
it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, he had the knee injury, that was it. Peyton missed that 1 year with the neck, that was it. Sometimes, Skip, we get an opportunity to see greatness for an extended period of time, minus injuries. Sometimes greatness get interrupted by injury, but you see it. And when you see it, you know it.
Oh,
I
really?
know what I'm watching.
Really?
I'm watching greatness personified.
Yeah, I was watching Giannis last
No,
night.
you didn't.
Just protect the rim. You should appreciate that because that's what you could do. Patrol that lane. That's what Giannis did all the way until he fouled out 24 seconds into the final over the second overtime. And then number 2 finally did what he should have done at the end of regulation and the end of the first overtime when he failed miserably.
What are we going to do about those 12 points, though?
Right.
Giannis is not going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Why are we changing the subject?
Because
You
but
didn't answer me.
Kawhi locked him down.
Oh.
This was about Kawhi. You asking about Giannis. The question was how
The
impressive.
guy who got locked down was number 2 with the ball in his hand, or sometimes not in his hand, at the end of regulation. He goes the last 112 of regulation. He does nothing. He has 0, 0, 0, 0, and didn't seem to want the ball. With 2.2 left, they inbound on their end, and Siakam's like, you want me to throw up a prayer? Where are you, number 2? He didn't seem to want the basketball. I don't know.
In his defense, though, Skip, he's out here playing with Lowry fouled out, and he's playing with Van Vliet, who's been a no-show this entire playoff.
We had a couple of big shots yesterday.
Oh, yeah, a couple. About time.
About time.
He do.
About time. I never seen a role player that get that much
playing time.
That much playing time without,
without delivering.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then goes back to your Spurs situation about his games being played. And okay, last season he didn't play, right?
We missed 73 games
Okay, he missed
quit.
He was
quit.
hurt. Okay,
He
he
had
missed
a thigh bruise.
He missed 73 games because he was hurt. Those other years, he could have played 82 games, but the Spurs system, which they got fined by the NBA about for resting players. So it wasn't Kawhi. If it was Kawhi, he probably would have played the 82 games.
No.
But if it was because of the Spurs system of we're gonna rest. Like Kawhi, you're not playing this game. And they actually got fined behind that too, by the way.
Well, he had 2 mysterious injuries last night, and he had a whole litany of them in San Antonio.
Well,
I've read them already.
he's going to be real sore.
Is he?
Yeah, 52
How did he
minutes.
do that? How was he so explosive after Giannis went out when he had 2 legs going on? Because he was limping on his left leg for a while, and then he was limping on his right leg.
Skip.
Did he forget which leg was
Indomitable,
hurt? I don't know.
intestinal fortitude.
Oh, really?
It's that
That's
will.
called killer. That's called being a killer.
Killer, just like Jordan was?
Yes.
Yeah, well, how much of a killer was he down the stretch of the first overtime when over the last minute and 30 seconds he took 2 big shots. He took a wide open 3 and missed it. And then he had a shot at the buzzer to win it. And I guess the rim gods didn't protect him on that one because he didn't get any lucky bounces.
Fourth quarter. What did he do in the fourth quarter?
What happened? Giannis fouled out.
Not
and then
in the
he
fourth
took
quarter.
over the way he
Not
finally
in the fourth
should
quarter.
have.
Giannis was there.
You know what? I got to put a big old asterisk beside this performance, this Jordan-esque
No, you don't put no
performance.
asterisk by anything.
Big old asterisk because the rim protector was gone.
I tell you what, if Giannis is the guy you think he is,
Yeah.
tell him to lock up on Kawhi.
Yeah,
Don't put Middleton on him.
I agree.
Don't
What?
put Middleton lock up on him.
I agree. Why is Giannis not
You know
going
what?
Kawhi?
He has locked up on him because, the
Middleton!
game winner that he took at the end of the first overtime, who came flying across the lane and just swooped by with the big long arm.
But that was Middleton
long
that was
arm
on
of the
it.
law.
Middleton is
Yeah, go
guarding.
look at it again if we have it. Yeah.
All I know is that Kawhi took Giannis, and then Giannis passed Kawhi to Chris
No,
Middleton.
Giannis just said, you can't come in here. And number 2 knew he couldn't touch
Number
the
2
lane.
get whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And he
Well,
locked. and
he
he
got
locked
whatever
down.
he wanted. Did you see? He spun on Brogdon at the end. That was the sort of the clincher, that little layup that he shot at the end. That's on Brogdon because there's no Giannis under there. You
know-
can spin and shoot your
Hey,
little layup.
What about all the 50-50 balls? What about the big steal down?
He beat Brogdon to a 50-50 ball, which changed the game.
Oh.
And I want to know what Brogdon is doing.
Kawhi got your guy
You not
locked
want
up.
it?
Got him locked up.
Really?
Won't let me out.
Really?
Yeah, locked up. Look,
Hey, Skip. Sooner or later, you got to let it go.
yeah.
I know you.
You know
I
what?
know.
I'm not
listen,
letting it go because he came into this game 4 of his last 26 from the three-point line. That's 15%. And you're telling me he's Michael Jordan?
I just want you to tell me.
That's outrageous.
Michael Jordan never was a great three-point shooter.
No, he didn't need to be, except,
Oh, no, he didn't need to.
except at the highest level against Portland in Game 1.
Oh, so you take one game. You take one game. Oh, you take one game where
do
you
you
shrug
mean?
like you don't know what's going on.
What are you still waiting to see, Skip, from him?
Waiting to see. How about
Like-
clutch at the end of regulation?
Oh,
At the end of overtime?
You didn't see that against
How
Philly?
about those 2 turnovers in the second overtime?
Skip.
Really?
I don't know what else he can do, Skip. After you saw him in Game 4
He's
against
shooting-
Philly, Game 7 against Philly.
He's shooting in the playoffs 44% from the floor, and he's a career 50% free throw
Yes.
shooter. So he's high volume, high miss.
That's what they turned him into. And this is what you have to do sometimes, is become a volume shooter.
Yeah.
You remember in 2015, that first title, with the 2015, LeBron's first year back in Cleveland,
Yeah.
LeBron turned into a volume shooter, and his field goal percentage dipped.
Oh.
LeBron is always going to be in the 50 percentile. Last year he was 34.99 on 54% shooting. But I'm just saying, when you become a volume shooter,
Yeah.
unless you're Wilt Chamberlain, your numbers are going to dip.
And on top of that,
Or Michael Jordan, because his
and on,
numbers
to-
didn't.
and on
dip.
top of that, you think Kawhi is really worried about Giannis when he guarded arguably the greatest player to ever play the game in LeBron James?
Yeah, you know that?
He's not worried
He's
about-
not
he's
worried
not worried
about
about
Giannis.
Giannis.
No, Giannis can't do anything.
I'ma
What,
take-
what are your numbers that he put up? Every time I used to use that argument against you, you'd say, and he averaged like 37,
No,
11, and,
against that one time, he only had like 28, 7, and 6.
oh, but you always say that was great.
But that was Kawhi was young.
Oh,
that
so
first
now you're-
that finals.
now you're trying to
that
backtrack on
finals.
your argument.
He gave that business. You remember that game
Did he?
6? That game 6 and game 7?
Yeah, do you remember who missed the crucial free throw in Game 6?
You
down
Manu
the stretch?
Ginobili.
No.
Manu
The
Ginobili.
last one and the worst one was by this guy,
Where was Tim Duncan?
number 2. Where was he? He was
Yeah.
on the bench.
Okay, whose fault is that?
Right.
Pops.
Okay then.
Oh.
Okay then.
Yeah, and Danny Green didn't.
Oh, so
out
you
LeBron.
know what? Yeah, there's a lot of blame going around here.
a lot of blame.
Manu missed a shot.
Yeah.
Danny Green didn't box out. No Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Pop coaching decision.
But this was Magnifico. After all those, I
Magnifico.
just detailed what he didn't do down the stretch.
And
this
it was
is a
on-
home game. This is do or die. You
Yeah.
got him on
And
the
he
run.
showed
And he
it.
did.
And he
Got
did
it done.
Really?
He
Got
did
it
it.
done.
Game 4
After the
tomorrow,
other
back
star
at home.
fouled out.
We fouled him out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Play
Let's
without
just see how
fouling.
he does after these 52 minutes. If he can,
He can
back
ice
it
back.
up. Let's just see. But it could all end right now. The Warriors, are they going to roll to another title without Kevin Durant? Will they get it done tonight to move on? We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
The Warriors can sweep the Blazers tonight in Portland. Draymond Green led Golden State to a comeback win on Saturday night with a triple-double, and Steph Curry added 36. The Blazers' backcourt continued to struggle with Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum combining to shoot just 12 for 38 from the field. Kendrick Perkins back with us. I'm going to start with you again on this one. Has this series been more about Golden State or Portland?
This series has been more about Golden State. Portland has overachieved. They good where they at, making it to the Western Conference Finals. I think we seen that after Game 7 when we seen Dame, the emotions he had after Game 7. Portland is cool. Golden State is more about Golden State right now. Playing without Kevin Durant, showing the world that, hey, we're still here, we're still champs even without Kevin Durant. And on top of that, what you have to understand is that Golden State has about 4 to 5 guys that's up for contract negotiations. And so these guys are going to go out there and leave it all out on the line. So I think this is more so about Golden State trying to prove to the world or proving to the world that they can win without Kevin Durant. Now, can they win the title without KD? Absolutely not. They need Kevin Durant back.
You're talking
Think
about
so.
this year, they can't win. They
They-
can't beat Milwaukee or Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
They cannot beat Milwaukee or Toronto without Kevin Durant. And they need Kevin Durant. Let's not get it confused. Let's not get it confused now. Golden State went and recruited Kevin Durant.
Right.
Kevin Durant ain't called Golden State and say, hey, I want to come join you guys. No. What Golden State did, they won their first championship, and then all of a sudden, King James, came back down 3-1 and took their title from him, and they seen it. They was like, oh, well, he's coming out the East every year. So we got to go get somebody to match him. We got to go get somebody to take us over the top. And let's not forget this, too. By the way, I got to give some credit to Klay Thompson. He don't get enough credit. He's been the best shooting guard in the playoffs this year. I mean,
Beyond Steph?
Shooting guards. Steph is a point guard.
Well, I
No,
consider him a shooter.
okay.
That's-
Yeah,
all
but
the
I'm
guys,
talking
all
about
these guys are
That-
shooting
because
guards.
I'm talking about he's
I feel
playing.
like Draymond's the point guard.
He's playing
No,
both.
seriously.
Yeah, he's playing both ends of the court really well.
Yes.
But on top of that, let's not forget, Steph has a history of disappearing in finals.
He does.
So
He has had.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
It's been a big
yes,
stage for
it's
him.
been yes. He has a history of disappearing in the finals.
Yeah.
Even without KD being on the team, who was the MVP, Iguodala, and they was talking about giving it to LeBron, and he lost. So at the end of the day, yes, they're showing the world that they're still, Golden State, but they still need.
And by the way, I'm not sure we're going to see much of Iguodala from here on.
Yeah.
Because once you get an Achilles strain, I don't know if you ever had tendonitis
Sure.
where
I have.
it's just so
I
bad,
have.
and it just shuts you down.
It does. It's very painful. I ended up getting this was in college, my senior year in college. I ended up getting a shot,
You did.
cortisone shot in my Achilles, and I missed like 2 weeks of practice. And good thing it happened in the preseason. I agree with you, Perk. This is about Golden State, and I've been very, very impressed with Golden State. I'm not surprised, but I am surprised that they played. This was 73. They're playing like 73-9 Golden State.
They are.
And I think people forget that this was a great team before Kevin Durant joined it. He made them unbeatable. I'm not so sure that had Cleveland broken up like they did and KD stays at OKC, Golden State's going to still be the prohibited favorite every year to come out of the West and every year to win the title. What KD did is that he made them unbeatable in a 7-game series.
I agree.
This is still a great team. Steph is reminding people, I'm the last guy to win consecutive MVPs.
Regular season.
You do understand that. Draymond, as you mentioned, contract. See, Draymond is the biggest beneficiary if KD leaves, because now you got to max him. See, Skip, he's going to be the odd man out. You can't max Clay, Steph, KD, and Draymond. So Draymond would be the biggest beneficiary if KD leaves, because he's looking at max. He's like, remember last time I took that little bit of money so we could go get KD.
Yep.
Because if you had maxed me out, KD was going to be a no-go. He's looking to get his money. Clay, I believe Clay always has the toughest job because he always gets the toughest defensive assignment. He's got to guard the James Harden,
Yep.
or he'll start on LeBron James, or he guards Dame Lillard. He always guards that guy, Skip, or the Paul George or the Russell. Normally, he guards Russell Westbrook. So he always has a tough assignment, but we still need his 20 to 25 on a nightly basis. So this has all been about Golden State, and they're reminding the world just how great they were before KD.
They are.
And don't sleep on them. We're going to be great even without KD.
That's what
if
they
he
are
chooses.
saying, which is why this team is so different than the 73-9 team, because this team has a postseason motivation that team did not have.
Correct.
That team was just trying to defend. It's trying, like, wait, we're supposed to be this good?
Right.
And to your point, Steph has come up very smaller than he is in a lot of big late postseason games. But in this case, he is more motivated than I've ever seen him, and so is Draymond. And those two are playing at an electric level, just their movement, their quickness, the spring in their step. I've never seen anything like it before, which is why I don't think Milwaukee or Toronto can beat this team with the motivation it has right now, because it's trying to show everybody we can win without that guy. We won without him before, and we're going to show you we can win without him now. And we're going to remind you, don't write us off next year because we're going to be this good going forward. So again, they're on fire with new motivation they didn't have. They were backpedaling on 73-9, and then obviously Draymond got suspended for Game 5, and all of a sudden they lost their flow. Steph just went completely south in 5, 6, and 7 that year.
And see, I agree with you. I agree with you on that too, Skip. But y'all have to understand this: Draymond Green is the heart and soul.
Oh, absolutely.
Is the heart and soul of the Golden State Warriors.
Yes.
I mean, he's everything that you want in a basketball player. He's everything that you want in a basketball player. He could switch 1 through 5s. He could pass. He could dribble. Now he's scoring. Everything. He does it all. He's everything that, and he gives them swagger. He gives them swagger. And I ain't gonna lie. When I seen KD go out in the Houston series, it looked like Steph had a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and you just seen him come alive.
Because now I don't have to worry. If I take 25 shots, I ain't got to worry about him like, okay, he upset. So, in Draymond, the biggest thing that Draymond has done, Skip, this is the best I've seen him play since that game 7 of the finals they lost, is that he stopped dilly-dallying with the referees.
He did.
He's just playing basketball.
He talked about that yesterday. He said, too many times I just play out of control.
Yeah.
And he said, sometimes I take a tech just to get my team
Right.
fired up.
Right.
But he said, too often I've just played ugly basketball,
Yeah.
and just took techs.
He playing like this.
Yep.
Oh, they got to max him out.
Yep.
He said he's been talking about leadership too, like he's been trying to step up in that sense. Kind of an unsung hero
Well, he
in
was
a lot
the
of
leader.
ways.
Little did he know, Skip, he did him a favor.
Yep.
He said, "We
But
want
please,
to
let's not sleep on Toronto and Milwaukee.
Okay.
Those
Toronto not coming out the East.
okay, well, let's not
wait.
sleep. Milwaukee is good.
Let's just wait. Kendrick, good stuff. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining us
All right,
today.
thank you.
Let's stay talking
Thank you,
about Draymond Green. Is he one of the best defensive players ever? We'll discuss what he's been up to next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. Draymond Green has been great for the Warriors since Kevin Durant went down with an injury in the last 2 games. He's got 6 blocks and 4 steals, and Draymond told The Athletic that he is the best defensive player ever. Shannon, does he have a point?
Yeah, he has a great point on top of his head. He done bumped his head, Skip Bayless. He's not the best defender right now in the league. Kawhi and Paul George are better defenders right now currently than Draymond Green. And I'm just
Don't forget about Giannis.
okay, I'm just gonna go wing players. I'm gonna take Sidney Moncrief, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman.
I'll throw Michael Jordan in there.
Oh,
Okay?
okay, I'll give you that one. Is he better than Elijah Wan Skip in his prime?
No, but he's not that guy. He's not that long. He's
That's
not
what
that
I'm
tall.
saying.
No.
So how you gonna say you the best defender? Bill Russell, a lot of times is universally regarded as the best defender
Totally
of all
agree.
time.
Totally
and then
agree.
you might not like Dwight Howard, but in his prime as a defender,
Yeah.
and what about Ben Wallace?
Okay.
Ben Wallace won 4 Defensive Player of the Year in a 5-year span. Come on, Dre. Dre, you're unbelievable. You're playing unbelievable basketball, but you need to stop this foolishness.
I will give him this. He's one of the better all-time defenders.
Okay,
He's up
one of the
there.
better.
He's somewhere up there because he was the Defensive Player of the Year, and he's 4 times All-Defense and 3 times First-Team All-Defense. And I'll give him this. He's the quarterback of a really good team defense because he's the one shouting out assignments.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? He's good in the team concept
Yes.
because he's not a dominating rim protector
Right.
or he's not a lockdown perimeter defender.
Right.
But within the confines of what they do,
yes,
he's really good.
right.
And he was really good
Yeah.
on Saturday night.
1, 2, 3, 4. He's not even top 10, Skip.
Yeah.
He's not a top 10 defender of all
But I
time.
don't. But what's he going to say? No, I'm not.
But just,
Yeah,
Skip, just say
get
I'm
set
one
up
of the
a
better
little bit.
defenders right now. Don't say all time.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. 1 of 1.